Like,
Yeah, I had to get my jaw ready.
Like what was that? High School Musical, whatever.
I don't know. I ain't watched that in a minute.
Yeah,
Was it watermelon, cantaloupe?
yeah, something like that.
Mac and cheese.
All right. What's good, squad? It's Frosty Phenix here. Welcome to another edition of Phuca-Pod. Be sure to check us out across all social media at Phucaname, Phucaname. Be sure to check us out wherever our podcast is available. If you like the content, however you're listening to us, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and leave a comment for any content you want to hear us cover in the future, or however we can improve our content if need be. I'm here with the usual squad specs. Introduce yourselves and where we can find you if you want to be found.
Peace. What's good, y'all? This is your host with the most, Cornered Fox, a.k.a. One Speed Wanda, a.k.a. Siniska, a.k.a. Call Me Clive, okay?
Oh
Final
my
Fantasy
gosh,
16.
a new name.
Shout out to Final Fantasy XVI. That just came up on the spot, okay? Shout out to Hideo Kojima, as always, the one true GOAT, okay? And look, you can find me on Instagram at Sonny Burns, SaniBurns, also at Phucaname, of course, with the gang. And look, it's been a minute since y'all heard my voice on here, but, you know, we back like we never left. Let me pass the mic.
Squad! Man, you heard that echo all the way through. But what up, it's your man, DesertSkies, a.k.a. the coldest geek in the desert, a.k.a. your favorite big brother, a.k.a. something clever here. No, I'm playing.
Come on. I was hanging on your words.
I was here for a second, yeah.
I was like, where we go with this?
That's okay. I told you, it's harder than it looks, ain't it? You know?
I know, that was good, though. Y'all just don't realize it's okay,
good.
though. But find me out. Me and Frosty always out here doing the reels, trying to make y'all laugh, make ourselves laugh, take away from the daily grind. It is what it is. But find me at, I say sometimes TikTok, but my TikTok is really all my IG. But find me at IG, DESERT.
You cross them, yeah.
SKIES. Yeah, I do cross them, but it's just like, I'll put it there sometimes. Sometimes I go to TikTok, rarely, but hey, I'm here for y'all. But find me out. We here. Let's do it.
DesertSkies is his name. DESERSKIES. Gotta cut him off a little bit. I'm just filling it in there.
You missed a whole T. Like, you missed a whole letter.
Did I miss a letter?
Yeah, you said DesertSkies. You spelled
DESERTSKIES. I'm sorry. Thank you. This is why you have accountability partners. This is why you have accountability partners.
You know, this is why I be asking y'all to spell shit. Y'all be laughing at me like, oh, stop playing. This is why. So motherfuckers know how to spell. This is exactly why.
I think it's the first time that I think I've misspelled. No,
it's not. It's not the first time at all. Right.
It's not.
Spell destiny.
Trash. TRASH.
Whoa! I didn't expect that.
Whoa! Look at that. Funny bones come all over the place.
You're right. Let me find out Destiny is trash. Hey, look, Frosty Phenix done said Destiny is trash. That must mean that.
You can't laugh at yourself. Who can you laugh at?
Who can you?
That's
laugh
right,
at, bro.
That's right.
That just talking about exploitation of gaming culture in general and what you settle for in your MMO online games is another conversation entirely, but we're just here to catch up. It's been a while since we've done a new episode, and y'all need a new episode. Y'all need to hear from us. Need to hear the opinions of what's going on. There's so much that's happened in gaming, in movies, in anime, in everything, and we just gotta get into it. I know we have our news bites of the day, but the news is the episode today. And first one I'm gonna get into, and it's the cream of the crop, the top of everybody's tongue right now. Final Fantasy 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know about who everybody's cream of the crop talking about, but sure, you and Cornered over there.
Don't do that. Don't see just because. See, okay, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do for all the listeners. We're just gonna pose a simple question. Okay, we're gonna pose a simple question. I already know the answer to this question, but we'll just pose it. DesertSkies, how many Final Fantasy games have you played?
None.
Well, I see how one would not be hype about the 16th entry in a series that one has not played any games in.
I played Kingdom Hearts.
That does not
see. Yep, that's
not
always the retort. That's always the retort. I play Kingdom Hearts though. Is it the same thing? I play it. No, it's not.
I didn't say it was the same thing. I just said I played something similar.
You said, isn't it similar? Doesn't it count? No. Isn't that Final
not
Fantasy
the
adjacent? No, it does not
It's
count.
not the same.
Final Fantasy 16 is fire. That's all I'm going to say. If the only reason that Final Fantasy 16 isn't going to be Game of the Year is because of two other games that are big threats. Spider-Man 2 coming out later this year, and Tears of the Kingdom, which is obviously already won Game of the Year. So Final Fantasy 16 is really it's just sorry. You know what I would love to do? I would love to take all the games that came as like runner-ups and put them against each other, like Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy 16, like like all the games.
Like 2 years ago when it came out, like
Yeah, it lost to Last of Us 2 when that came out. But all like the runners-up, I would love to put them against each other. I feel like
that's like with actors and actresses and we like Emmy nominated. Not Emmy award winning. Like, when they feature somebody in a movie, Emmy nominated this person. It's like, so you get in second place, you're getting acknowledged for being on the roster for almost winning Game of the Year.
But
hey, that's better than people who never win.
Yeah, but being nominated is a credit to their like resume and profile. So like when you're a actor and you go for any role, or even if you get a role and you're in a film, like putting that they are an Emmy nominated or Academy Award nominee is a benefit to the film. Like you'll sell better most of the time if you have a nominee or a winner in your main cast. Yeah. So that's why like when Mahershala Ali got his 2 Academy Awards, he could call Marvel and be like, I want Blade. And they was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like you got clout.
You got pull. You got pull. You said, what'd you say, Desert?
Look up Swan Song on Apple TV. Mahershala Ali does a great job.
Great. That was great.
Swan Song was amazing.
Like he's a better man than me. I'm just like, you're going to watch me be sick. I'm sorry. Like you're going to. we said
we could have a whole pod about that movie because that movie was thick. And I was talking. Look,
it was.
Look, there's no easy answer to that movie. There's nobody can say
the movie good because it's not like a bad or a good thing. It's just like, what would you do if you knew you were terminally ill and if you had the chance to give your family an extended time with you, quote unquote, would you do it?
Yep, yeah. and they would know, and it was a perfect replica of you to the DNA, and on top of it, it's like they're in good hands. And remember, he was like. He was like, nah, I'm not doing it. And then he almost died in front of him. Remember? Yeah. And then he was like, and like they went and snatched him up. Yeah. It was like, okay, like let's talk about this. What you want to do? So like he was really going through it. And then like his wife was pregnant. Like it was a whole thing. Like it was a whole deal. So I don't know.
That's a deep moral discussion. But back to the
go back to Final Fantasy 15 because
that could be a whole thing. Yeah. Now like
don't want to do that to y'all.
Final Fantasy 16 is fire. That's the news bite. The news bite is that Final Fantasy 16 is fire. So it just came out. Everybody needs to play it. But
here's what we need.
Did I mention it's fire?
Here's what we need to do because people have been clashing about this, and I think
about the fire.
Yes, they have Desert.
Fight fire with fire.
They have Desert, and to weigh in our opinions on this matter, to either probably sway or just add like more tallies to either side depending on when everybody goes. So. A couple points of pull is the turn-based aspects of Final Fantasy are not present in 16. The party feature overall is not available in 16. Like you're not running multiple people. You don't have to worry about multiple people's stats or anything like that. The diversity conversation and even the concept that 16 was, and people have a problem with this, and Sonny, I know you're probably going to be like, oh my God. Like people had a problem with the fact that it was pitched to say that we were going to live through all of Clive's like lives, like all of his years of living, like going to get balanced access to all of his time periods. When coming out now, you find that you barely spend much time in his youth and his mid, but you get more time in his older years. Which I'm gonna drop this quote from Inverse. Said, in the mainline games, no Final Fantasy protagonist before Clive has ever been over the age of, I'll let y'all guess.
Oh, I mean, I know. So
25,
21.
Yeah, and Clive is what, in his 30s?
34, 35.
Yeah, he's 34. And I was talking to one of my partner Corey, who works at Riot. I was talking to him, and I was like, yo, I love this shit. Like, give me more Final Fantasy with this. Because the reason why we don't spend a lot of time in his youth is because it's a mature story. Like, the joint is a mature story. Think Game of Thrones-esque. And a lot of the meat that happens does happen later on, and we do get little bits and pieces of him when he was younger and when he was, younger than in his 20s and stuff, because it's building up to things that are happening in the main storyline, which takes place while he's older. So, sure, it's not the same as all the other games, and that's fine. But as long as you're telling a good story around it, there's really no issue here. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the turn-based thing is concerned, people have been talking about people have been debating turn-based versus live, real-time combat for a long time. At the end of the day, just make the shit fire. Like ain't nobody really sitting here tied to turn-based combat anymore. Turn-based combat was great. There are still a ton of games that do turn-based combat. But really what we're saying is the combat system trash or not. And when we say trash, we mean, are you just button mashing square, button mashing X? Yep. Is that what you're doing? Because nobody wants that. At a glance, that's what it looks like. But that's not really what it is. The combat system is complex, but you just have to put a lot into it to really make it so. Put effort into the combinations of abilities you have, right? If you actually use the best combos, like you can hit square and just do your main combos, but A, you're not doing as much damage, and B, they're not even cool. So why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? So people who say that it's kind of a masher, they haven't played the game. They haven't engaged and invested in the system. It is a really good fighting system. It's a really good game. And the one thing that I will say as far as the party system is concerned is that is a little bit of getting used to, but it's not a bad thing. I think the only thing that's an issue is just the inconsistency of assembling the party. A lot of times it's kind of by chance. If the story puts you in a place where you have certain party members, then you have party members. And, and that's one thing that I've started to do too is if I get to a story point where I have 3 party members, then it's okay, now's a good time for me to do some of these side mission hunts because I have some backup. Whereas in other points in the story, it'll just be me and, my dog, Torgal, killing it, and it'll just be us. And it might be a little harder at that point. So it's just things like that where you can't really be in control of assembling your party. But all in all, the game is fire. I'm here for over 30 protagonist characters. I'm here for it. I want more of it. I want somebody who's in their mid-30s who's got to wake up and put ice on their back and who's got to pop a Tylenol before they go fight. You know what I'm saying?
He's that bad now.
Imagine, bro, could you imagine an isekai right now with the 3 of us and we was okay, we on an adventure now. I got to wake up in the morning shit, can I get some ice? Can I get some heat real quick? Yo. And then I'm ready to go, do this thing. That's what it would be. Come on now. I just fought yesterday. What you mean do a quest? I just got back from a quest. I need to take a nap.
I'm tired. I need a break. Hold on.
Right.
We're saying,
ice my feet.
Even with that point, even Kratos, who, is no longer a young guy.
That's different.
That's different? Okay.
Kratos a god. He's a god.
But you see it, when he was young in the younger games, he would take hits, but he would get up and just come back swinging. Older Kratos kind of gets up and he's just look, he's wiser. He's definitely more we could keep scrapping. I could kill you in this moment, but I'd rather appeal to you as a grown man to a grown man. Where younger Kratos is about to be you want these hands?
Yeah.
You want these hands?
breath.
We have to run these hands. I beat my dad's face in. You want this? You want this work? Older Kratos is look, I could run your fate easily, but that's not the man I am right now.
Right.
More.
You want to be left alone.
You know what I'm saying? So
you don't want me to be the god I used to be.
Hey, look. Kratos has some bars in there, but again, Odin fried his ass up. Odin fried him up. He was bro, you don't even know the first thing about being.
Yo, that was
so.
Worship. You don't know that type of love.
Anybody worship you?
Yeah, he fired back. I ain't never seen somebody fire back at Kratos like that. I was like, well, careful, Odin. Okay, don't do this now. And then Kratos just took it. Kratos just took it. But
and he felt bad about it till the end. For those who haven't played Ragnarok, spoiler alert, but the end he opens up.
First of all, kill yourself if you haven't. But
he opens up the cabinet and sees it. He opens up the cabinet. You're saying that?
Yes.
Okay.
I played
it.
Ragnarok.
You did. You made the time and you played it. You know what I'm saying? And Desert plays
Albeit
primarily
a little
Switch,
late.
primarily, Xbox, and he beat it. So you really have no choice. You have no excuse for that.
Drew don't even play primarily Xbox. It's just that Apex is on there. You don't really.
Apex
and
Overwatch
is on there. Look, the reality is that Xbox is like an Apex machine. That's about it now.
Dang. And then
I really wish I could say he was lying, but it's not. Like everything else, one player I'm playing on PlayStation or on the Switch.
I tagged Daybreak Paladin. Shout out to him. He couldn't make the podcast today either. Like, he and I were just talking, but tagged on Twitter that allegedly Halo Infinite sidebar is gonna have like AI added to like their Forge or something like that, like AI bosses or something like that. So like another Xbox exclusive that's trying to be like.
Is it gonna be? That's not an Xbox exclusive. It's also on PC.
Infinite is. That's crazy, and that's like, Well, I know we keep talking about exclusivity now because like even news stories dropping about Xbox being like, PlayStation started this whole exclusivity thing. We just want to be innovative, and everybody's like, yo, shut up and make me a new game.
Yeah. Bro, again, you can't say that PlayStation started the exclusivity thing, because when the PlayStation 1 was out, that came out before that there was an Xbox.
Yeah. So
like it was just PlayStation with Grand Theft Auto and Tomb Raider and Metal Gear and all these fire games. Like, it was no Xbox. And then Xbox came out and started taking shit. So, like, yeah, obviously to sell PlayStations, they want to sell them with these games they've been making already. Like, naturally, that's business. That's capitalism. I get it.
Yeah.
Then so what Xbox do? They start making their own shit. Gears, Halo, all those fire things that they was making, that's what they did. And it was good. Keep making it.
Was it Fable? Was it Fable exclusive?
Fable, yes. Yeah. But then what happens is when you stop doing the shit, and then people's like, yo, where your games at? Where the fuck the games at? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just sold me a console, but now where the games at? So, I feel like that whole thing was petty to talk about, PlayStation's doing this, doing that. Like, yo, you know how to fix this. Make some fire. Like, that's it. Just make some good shit.
Yeah, you got what, 3 or 4 game companies under your umbrella now. Like,
and they got Starfield. Starfield's like cool. They did good. They got Starfield. They already got their ecosystem with PC.
I want Starfield on the PlayStation. I want it. When I saw the trailers, I want it. I want it over here.
Oh, true. I'm not even gonna play it on Xbox. I'm playing on PC.
Since we were born, so I don't know.
Sheesh.
I'm gonna get it on PC because I can
and
play
let us know. Because if you look at it, it'd be like PlayStation should have it too, or not. I mean,
well, it'll be different because only on PC will it be native 4K and 60 frames. Not on Xbox, so.
But another fun point, like, to Final Fantasy 16, like, so I think you definitely broke down the idea that you are a veteran Final Fantasy player. I'm a veteran Final Fantasy player, and I played 7. Even news that 9 is getting a remake as well, but it's going to possibly go back to its turn-based. Now, this is a report that we posted on our Instagram. Go check it out. That from mynintendonews.com pulled a quote from a reporter on the inside for that is going to be turn-based again. So it's going to be ATB, just like the older titles, and it's cool, great. That 9 doesn't have as much material, I guess, to go and get a full Final Fantasy VII remake treatment. Like, it wasn't as much of an extensive story, I guess. Like, 7 had more of a world to build out. I never played 9. It just never came across my hands.
7 had a superstar. That's what it was, I think. 7 had a superstar.
Which one? Cloud, Sephiroth, Tifa.
No,
pick
Cloud. One. Okay, well, yes, but Cloud, remember, and I tried to, when we had our, some of our internal chats, we'd be talking, but this is one of the things I wanted to mention. Like, Cloud was a star. Like, Cloud was on the front of magazines. Cloud was on the front of covers of all types of shit back in the 90s, and we was like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? That's why I got into Final Fantasy, was because of seeing a picture of this motherfucker looking at
that cover of 7, the original game cover of 7.
Yeah, I seen that shit on magazines. I was like, what is this? I'm hyped. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just Cloud this, Cloud that, Cloud pictures of Cloud everywhere being like this, fucking like he was like in a boy band leader or something. Like he was just whatever. Yeah, like Cloud was like that dude, and then you play the game and it's these other characters and it's a decent story, so it's like, okay, cool, you keep that going. 8 didn't keep that same momentum, kinda, and then 9 also like didn't keep that same energy neither. And then like 10 gave you Titus or Titus, whatever you call them, like boom, star. 10-2, like, Yuna and them, like, sure, like, but then they really didn't have another superstar until 13 with Lightning. Like, Lightning was a superstar. Like, they started they had Lightning modeling like bags and shit in Japan. Like, she was like a star. They tried to make the dude Noctis in 15 a star, didn't work. because they put him in Tekken even, but like he didn't have the same appeal. You know, everybody's like, oh, he looked like Sasuke. Like that's how everybody was saying. Yeah. So everybody was cool, but now Clive
Sasuke label.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And then Clive comes through, and I feel like Clive isn't as much of a superstar because he's this rugged 30-year-old. You feel me? But like when you play the game, I'm like, oh. Like Clive is dope. Like there was one scene that I will not forget. I ain't gonna spoil nothing, but the shit was tight. Like I don't want to spoil too much, but you know he.
You about to spoil it all now? I'm about to play
fine.
this game.
But basically, he's fighting a big monster, right? He's fighting a big monster. The monster is wrecking everything, and you just see Clive look up at it and he says "fuck," and he just knew that it was like over. And just that moment was just like that's real. Like I feel that. Like if it was me. In his body, looking at that, I'd have said the same. I'd have been like, "Fuck," and I'd just been like, "It's like," but he's a perfect mix of being like this righteous hero, but this ain't no like shonen. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not like the power of love and hope. He's like, yo, this shit is stressful.
The power of love and hope.
And friendship and shit. Like he went and it was this one, like it'll be a dude that comes up to him and is like, yo, like you killed my people or whatever, and he was like, look, I ain't got no quarrel with you, but if you want to squabble, like we could do it. And he draws his sword, like what's up, and then he'll just slay him. Like Clive ain't for the bullshit. Like I think he's a really good main character in the Final Fantasy series, and I'm cool with them going this direction and telling a more mature kind of story. And also this is the same team that did Final Fantasy XIV, which was a big hit. Yeah. And the Final Fantasy XIV story was also fire, and they kind of farted with 15. Like they didn't do 15, but 15 was kind of a fart. So they brought that team back to do 16 and basically gave them a blank check and was like, "Yo, make this shit fire."
Well,
and that's exactly what they've done.
So to summarize, 14 definitely had a good run in the beginning, but I think it was starting to fall off, and then they had to like revamp halfway through, and then they got the
with the DLCs and stuff. But it was also an MMO, so it was like. You know, it was different, and the way to enjoy it was a little bit different. It wasn't as linear, but they did have a story. They did build a world, and they brought them back to do 16.
Now 15, what I'm hearing, and a shout out to my homie Portable Bear Army, just in general about, not shout out in a good way, but like,
not shout out.
No, and to your point, Desert, they were like, yo, people were like, yo, give us more Kingdom Hearts. I think the director for Kingdom Hearts was also part of the team for 15, and so it's like one of those things where you're gonna make me do 15, so 15's gonna suffer. Or no, it was like 15 was a true project. It was supposed to get more, but that's why Kingdom Hearts 3 suffered, because they wanted, you know, people want they get cake and eat it too. Like, correct me on the story if I'm mistaken.
Kingdom Hearts 3 did suffer.
Like it suffered from like them trying to put too many eggs in one basket. And 15 was not what it's supposed to be. 3 was not what it's supposed to be. And it's like, so you learn that, like, I guess you tried to split the team up too much and on too many projects, or what, you know what I'm saying? Which is why you probably get 16, and then why Kingdom Hearts 4 is probably going to be different too. Like,
Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't have enough worlds and didn't have enough Keyblades.
Yeah, didn't have any Final Fantasy characters either.
Right. And on top, and it didn't have enough Keyblades. Like, did I mention it didn't have enough Keyblades? Like, at the very
but not
least,
only
you gotta
that,
have
I
some
don't think it had
fire
enough
Keyblades.
Keyblades.
Right.
I think it had the perfect amount of Keyblades.
You're lying. You gotta be kidding. There's no way. But the worlds too, like by the time that Kingdom Hearts 3 had came out, there was hella other Disney shit that had came out. Like I was glad they did the Big Hero 6 shit. But I was like, y'all have a lot. That was great.
Yeah.
But they had so much material that they should have done too, and I'm like, damn, like y'all missed out on a lot.
Like what else?
Moana shit.
Yeah, Moana would have been a fun world to have.
Yeah, and it would have been like, but how do you explore that? What do you,
how do you
go to all the
that?
islands?
Right.
Now,
you go under the sea or something, like see the guy.
Right. You go under the sea. That's Little Mermaid. They did that already.
They did that twice. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Right. They could have brought back Pirates of the Caribbean again. They could have did that.
Now that story got way too mature for what they're trying to do with Disney.
It did, but I mean, but Kingdom Hearts 3 like got mature a little bit.
It did, but not. We talking, Dead Man's Tale and At World's End. Like we talking, no.
Oh, that was a great trilogy.
That was.
The fourth one kind of ruined it, but
we won't talk about that one. We talk about the other one that came out. The one after that.
I mean, I kind of stand those movies. I stand them like Fast and the
I
Furious.
almost
So
feel
I don't really see nothing
the
wrong
one
with all.
after. So the one I think there was like on Stranger Tides was that one with what's his name that played his love interest in that, John?
Penelope Cruz.
Yes, like it was almost like a soft. It was like an attempt at a reboot type thing. Like it's just kind of like over there. Like it's just like it's not a part of it. And then the one that came out now, Dead Men Tell No Tales. That's the final draw because that's they bring back Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, which I want to watch that one because that's supposed to be the true conclusion to what the trilogy had, like epilogue type shit. So
Wait, Dead Man Tell, that was the third movie.
that's the fourth movie. No, fifth movie. Excuse me, because it's Pirates of the Caribbean. Was it Curse of the Black Pearl, Dead Man's Tale, Dead Man's Chest,
Yeah.
At World's End, Stranger
Yeah,
Tides,
Curse of the Black
Tell
Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, At World's End, On Stranger Tides, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh, okay, you're right. Dead Man, that fifth one then ruined it. Cause I think the fourth one was okay if I remember right.
The fourth one, no, nobody talks about the fourth one because it was like a soft attempt at like a side story.
I thought it was fire. I thought they were all fire. I don't know. I like Stan the series.
I love
so
the series. Too.
I don't.
I mean, it was.
I don't see
I
nothing
saw it
wrong.
with my dad. It was just like, I need to see the fifth movie because if it carries from that, then it's a different conversation. But I haven't seen it.
It's like Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
Or even Pacific Rim.
yeah.
I stand Pacific Rim.
Fast and Furious is at least entertaining. Like the way they did Jack Sparrow, and like the fifth one, kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, dang. Like he wasn't even Jack Sparrow. He was just a randomly drunk pirate who got lucky here and there. Like they just kind of took all his charm away.
Dang, I want to watch that one. Like, don't say that. Nah, that's crazy.
So they got. It's a sixth film that's supposed to be coming out, and then it's supposed to be a spinoff.
Yep. It's supposed to I'm talking about recasting Johnny Depp or making Jack Sparrow a female character.
See, at that point, it just renaming a different pirate series. Like, there's no need to. Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow. He made that role. He made the series. So I was like,
right, that's very true.
I know. Like we'll get into this. It's the next part of the conversation, but I think news was that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Iron Man in the titles coming up. In Armor Wars and Kang Dynasty, I believe.
Potentially as a flashback, or
no. So
if he's
an
like
AI,
AI, or a flashback,
or an alternate version of himself.
Yeah, which we knew would always be a possibility, him coming back as an alternate version. But like, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that like counts as big news because like,
I'm with it.
If he's an alternate version, like,
I'm with
I
it.
mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. They still haven't fully established like the rules behind their multiversal experiences. Like some people they have the same actor, and some people it's different actors. Like like they don't. There's no rules to it really. But anything goes in the multiverse.
I'm on Twitter, like me and shout out to Buckmeister Cull is on like Twitter. He's on the recast T'Challa hashtag, like still just kind of putting.
Yeah,
and it's like,
bruh, yes,
it's like we're past that argument, but still feeding into the idea of recasting somebody if to continue the story because it's not about the actor, it's about. And then like they recasted General Ross after the actor passed away. Rest in peace. I tweeted about that, and he recasted him with Harrison Ford. So.
I would be just.
I think Harrison Ford need to retire.
After Indiana Jones and this, I think he's good.
He did his thing.
Yeah, I think he's good after this. So, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But last parts on Final Fantasy in general. I know, like you said, I think earlier we were talking offline. You said diversity is not why you play Final Fantasy. So it's like people touch on that too, like especially with the time period that the game's in, and you're playing the game. So
yes. That's a fact. So let me clarify. We want diversity wherever we can get it. We love it. We'll take it in games. No doubt about it. Like, I did not put an obligation on Final Fantasy to be diverse. Personally, I didn't put that obligation on them. Now, I will always appreciate it. I will always take it. You know what I'm saying? What I do say all the time is that if you're making a game for me and I can create my own character in this world, you then got to open that shit up. Because then I need to be able to play the character that I reflect like that. Like that's just what you open it up for me to do. Like that's cool. If you're establishing that, okay, in this region or area of the world, it's not going to be no diverse whatever. Like, okay, cool. But like I said in previous podcasts and in previous conversations we've had, where there's opportunity to inject diversity, that's where it's the safest to do so. I'm not mad at them for telling a story that had a bunch of like European people. Like that's what this is. This is like a bunch of like old like medieval European kind of like type thing, but with like Final Fantasy shit, like fantasy shit. Like if they was telling a story in, you know, feudal Japan, like I wouldn't expect to see like Europeans or black people running around. Like I just, but like at the end of the day, like I get that when you're telling a story that is having multiple different types of people in it, yes, you want to have that diversity in there. I appreciate it. For me, that wasn't something that was going to stop me from enjoying this game.
Yeah.
That's all. But like, yeah, like, is it a true statement that it's not diverse? Yes. So like, if that's a deterrent for you, cool. But you'll miss out on a great game. So, you know.
Hang on to whatever values you want to hang on to. You know, stand up for something. That
Yeah,
don't
like
for anything. You know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like if I play, like when I play, you know, Elden Ring or something like that, like I expect the character creator to not have proper, you know, locks for hairstyles. Like that's just what happens. Like,
I mean, at this point, it's just a miracle that we have black hairstyles to begin with.
Right. We was just playing the Division 2, and you still can't have a decent looking black person in that game.
Nope.
Like,
nah, you be scruffy all
Jesus.
the way.
Nope.
And Ubisoft,
I did this.
same company that make all them.
Yeah, I did the basic cut with Division. I always just did the crew cut or the fade.
Well, you see how that don't work for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That don't work
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
not you.
with all this hair,
For
right?
people
It don't
for
work.
people that haven't seen but don't know, Cornered has very luscious and beautiful dreadlocks.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm blushing. Thank you. I just hit my 13 years.
Oh wow! Yeah. Shout out to your 13
I just hit my
years.
13 years last month. Yep.
Are you ever going to cut them off?
Really? 13 years? Dang, that's a long time.
13.
You ever gonna cut them?
Am I ever gonna?
You ever gonna cut them?
No, not all the way. No. I might trim them maybe, but I won't cut them off. No, I love them too much. Yeah. But to that point, like, I'll never see these shits reflected in games. I understand when you playing as a soldier or a space person or officer, they might say, oh, well, in military or in blah, 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 suits are made to handle. Figure it out. You can figure out how motherfuckers can shoot beams from their hands.
You ever see, like,
figure it out.
see in games where, like, people's hair be big and then,
yeah.
and then they put their helmet on?
Yeah, they put a helmet on and then the shit. I'm like,
sense.
you can figure that shit out. I got plenty of ideas for how to figure that. Look, I'm telling you, AI is gonna start making this shit like happen. All the shit that like you don't see that you want to see, like AI will make it happen. Yeah. Like, show me a soldier that has long ass locks in a creative way that they're styled or put together to where it's used, and they'll make some shit that makes it look cool. But like, it don't take much to be creative about it. But when you don't have motherfuckers reflected in the development teams, the design teams, the art teams, then it's very easy to not do it. That's why in NBA 2K, again, they have every single lock style you ever seen in that shit. And I'd be proud when I put on 2K and I could pick whatever style I want. But you can't do that nowhere else.
Because like,
yeah,
that's
they
where
care.
black people thrive. So it makes sense that they have different hairstyles in sports. But in space, in politics, and other
anything, he said politics. He went from space to politics. He said in space or in politics.
Shout out
I always have an agenda.
Shout out to our alma mater, Hampton, who I still believe has not budged off of their hair policy for the business school. I mean, still love our HBCU,
Look,
but you know what I'm saying.
Don't talk to me about that.
You know, just touching on that, just an idea of where these conversations come from as well, as far as being professional and having the hair that reflects who you are. Mm-hmm.
But what I will say, just to bring it all full circle, is that yes, while Final Fantasy XVI is not the most diverse game, I think it opens up a broader discussion to where we want and expect diversity in all of our media when we turn on the TV or read something. Right. Like when you watch a show, do you expect that show to check all your boxes? Or would you rather it tell a compelling story that fits? You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I ask that is because, yes, like we don't want to be exclusionary in media, right? We don't want that at all. But at the same time, if there just so happens to not be an Asian person in Final Fantasy 16 or a, brown person in Final Fantasy 16, does that then mean that it's a less quality game? Or if we see a movie or a show that comes out and that show doesn't have a Hispanic or Latin person represented or an Asian person represented, like do we need it across the board? And I'm not saying like, oh, blah, blah, but it comes to the conversation of both forcing things and where it's applicable to putting it in there. So, again, I think for this, as far as Final Fantasy 16 is concerned, I do think it's a personal choice. That being said, I don't think that it harms the story that they're telling in the game. I still appreciate the story. I still think it's a good game. I'm still playing the fuck out of it. But if you're not playing no games and there ain't no black people in it, then you got a small library of games to play. That's the sad truth. But I respect and appreciate that we want more diversity, for sure. But I don't necessarily think that we need to say, oh, you making a new game? Is it black people in it? Because if it ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like we gotta make sure we tread lightly with that, because on one hand, we want to empower. Hell, absolutely, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? All the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just how do we, you know, say, oh, you know, I want to tell this story about feudal Japan. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it has to be tied to the time period, because they've been using that as an excuse for years. Like, oh, back then they didn't have that. Like, you don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know.
Gonna say back then. How you gonna say back in Middle Earth?
There's stories that come out of like a Black Samurai, you know, Yasuke. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. Or
even like in Lord of the Rings, like in Middle Earth and shit, you know, people say, oh, like that's based on old English shit, like how, like blah blah blah. You know, it's like there's
trolls back in old
England.
England.
Orcs, right? Like there's orcs and there's hobbits
back in old England.
You know, like come on, like it's fine. You know,
really, so I think racist white man, that's your best debate.
So I think what it is when
the answer. They weren't there in my world. You know, in my view of the world.
Well, I think there's two different arguments.
Even in your own world, like,
I think there's two different arguments. I think there's one where if you have a piece of content like that, say Final Fantasy XVI, and they put a bunch of black people in Final Fantasy XVI, I think there would be outcry. You know what I'm saying? Because they'd be like, oh, like in this type of world, like whatever. Kind of like with what was that weak ass game? Forspoken, right? Like that had a sister playing the main character. It was. Drew. It was.
I can't. I mean, you have to describe it that way. You could just say, "What was that game I didn't like?"
No. I do need to describe it that way. That game was trash. It was a trash game. Like it was a poor video game. It shouldn't have been made. It was a waste of our money. And honestly, like that was like if you had a dish that was like Forspoken at a restaurant, you send that shit back. Be like, "Fuck y'all! Don't serve me this shit. Give me something good." Like that's what you would say. You would literally be like, "Nah, I can't believe you served me this. Give me something else," because it really wasn't that fire. But in any case, like they had a sister being the main character. She in this fantasy world, blah blah. Like it was people up in arms about that too. So yeah, so it might have been the case if they injected it in there initially, and people said, "Oh, like why is this character black? Why is this person black?" Sure, but them not being there, do we then like when do we say, "Hey, every piece of media that comes out better be diverse"? You know what I mean? Like, is that the conversation that we're having? I just think it's a discussion point. I'm not mad. I'm just not mad at it. I just don't want it forced. But I ain't mad at it. Please make them black. Make them this, that, the other. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's a conversation for us to have as a people when we talk about media, because a new movie could come out and we could say, I just noticed that there wasn't any, there weren't any members of the LGBT community represented in this movie. Like, what does that mean about the movie? Is it bad now? You know what I mean? Like it's a personal thing, right? So
yeah, personal preferences.
Also, we have to look at the education of people. People gotta get re-educated because people are so used to just seeing what they look like in the media all the time. And when I say people, I mean white people. And so, like when you start seeing people of different cultures, different backgrounds, you're kind of like, wait a minute, they can do this too. I thought I was special. I thought I was the only person who could be an elf or this or that. So why are they in here? Because everybody feels like because you ask somebody else that you're being taken out. That's never been the case, and that's never what we want.
Exactly. And that's exactly
why. Why do you think that way? It's like, oh yeah, because you're in a system and an environment that makes you think that way, and you feed into it, and you want to get yourself cultured and realize, hey, if I actually step out the bounds of my country, of my state, whatever, and go somewhere else, people think the same things. Like, oh, I'm only used to seeing black people in my area. Who are you? I'm only used to seeing Asian people around me. Who are you? Like, there's so many different things to see in the world, and you over here stuck on because you see a black elf.
Because for years,
it was cool.
For years and years, that was just the default. You know, like for years and years in history, that was the default. It was, hey, I need a character playing a movie. They're white. Like that's just what it was for years and years and years, and it was the default. So then when you start putting people in other things, you start sitting here thinking, and me and Marcus were talking about this. It was like, how important is it that this character's role being casted? How important is it that they be a white person? Like, is that important to the story? You know what I mean? Because that was a way to exclude so many people. And Viola Davis would talk about it all the time. She would say, yo, like if these roles don't exist for people of color, then we're not getting them. You know what I'm saying? Like if you looking for a 30-something-year-old white woman, then a sister ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? But if you need a 30-something-year-old woman, and their race isn't important to the role, and it's not making crucial decisions of value and importance to the role and to the story, then that then opens it up, and you can have all these people who can play it and play it just fine and play it just right. But if you have some people who their race and identity is crucial to the story, then it's much harder to switch that up without changing things. Miles Morales, you got to make him black by changing who Spider-Man is. Like, now it's a new Spider-Man. Yeah. You can't just take Peter Parker, make him black, because then that changes how he grew up, who his parents are.
Which we never wanted as a culture either, because we love Peter Parker much as the next person. But also we love me some Miles Morales.
That's right. That's right. So, I just want them to not force it. I just want where there's opportunity. Because there's several characters in Final Fantasy 16. And like they do have like some like brown people in the game, kind of. Like they do have some different regions represented, kind of. So like, they do whatever. But like there are characters, main-ish characters, that they could have made different, backgrounds and things like that, because their ethnicity wasn't important to the story. Those, I think, are areas where you can inject it just fine. But I think when it comes to telling these stories as an industry, we just got to do better. Like Swan Song, I think, is a perfect example of how you tell a futuristic sci-fi story with people of color that isn't focused on them being black so much as it's focused about this conflict that's happening. You know what I'm saying? And that's a very human conflict in a sci-fi world that's told in a very human way. Like, no stereotype in sight in that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a movie about
the only
people.
Stereotype I see was black excellence. That's all I know. That's all I saw.
Right, you seen that house he had.
They weren't struggling for nothing. He was doing well. She was an artist. They were taking care of their kids. Bam.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
And you know what? There's no racist interactions in that movie either. He didn't go to like the store and all of a sudden somebody was like, "What are you doing, black man?" And it was like there's no false race wars. The Asian woman was talking to a black man. They were all together peacefully talking their own dialect, slang, whatever. And they just looked at each other like two different people. It was no like, "Oh my God, you're black and you talk articulate. Oh my God, you're Asian and you speak English." There was nothing like that. It was just a perfect, good sci-fi story with minorities.
And I didn't miss it. I wasn't like, where's the differences? Why can't you identify? I didn't miss it. I'm like, you saying that to me is like, oh snap, you're right. They was really just interacting as human beings with, and their problem might have just been surface level, not race based or whatever. It's just like, oh wow, So.
And Mahershala Ali has held that stance and position, like as an actor, for a long time. In that, like, it's so many stories to tell that you can just tell with all types of people that don't need to be like race baited or that are focused on topics or certain things. Like, you can tell, like, it just takes effort, and it just takes you doing good in the writing room and with your script and doing proper diligence. Like, that's all it takes. Like, you could have told the Swan Song story with any race of people, with any ethnicity, with any orientation, with any gender preference, and it would have been the same thing, because they crafted a very good movie and script. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how you know that you have something that is real. And it's not like it was like intentional, but the focus was on this story that they've meticulously crafted. And you just sit here and you're like, damn, like, and one of the things he specifically said is like, we need to humanize these things, so this isn't like a black family story. This is just a family story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not to take away that they're black, because throughout Swan Song, they black. They black as hell. Like, they black, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's not about their blackness. It's about this story. They're black. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in Across the Spider-Verse, right? Like, they didn't spend a whole bunch of time in Across the Spider-Verse talking about him being black. We know he black. They didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about being Hispanic. Him and his mama speak Spanish. Like, that's who he is.
He's not the black Spider-Man. He's just the Spider-Man who should have been.
He's Spider-Man. Right, he's Spider-Man. Like, that's what it is. And so the more you do that and the more you normalize these things, then we start to slowly, and it's obviously going to take time, we start to break away from, this is a black story and this is an Asian story and this is and like, okay, let's just tell a story. You know what I'm saying? Let's tell a good story. And I think that's where we're trying to get to. So I'm cool with Final Fantasy telling a good story. They could have put diversity in there some more places, sure, but They tell a good story. I'm not mad at that.
Not at all.
If it was exclusionary, that was different. If they went and said, "Oh, we're in Africa now and ain't no black people," that's different. That's different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but yeah.
But yeah, and don't confuse us, squad. We love our black people, and we love those cultural undertones that you see. Because you know, in Spider-Verse, like he was saying, that everybody was cool with everybody. Everybody was like, "Hey, Peter. Hey, Gwen. Whatever." But when the black Spider people saw each other, you saw the head nods. You saw the connection. You just saw that. But it wasn't had to be implied because that was for us.
Yeah.
It was for us. Yeah. But it still didn't take away from the story. It didn't overbear it like, "Oh my God, Black Spider-Man, people are way better." It was just like, yo, it was there. He saw Spider-Bite. He was like, "Hey, girl." She was like, "Hey, boy," and he kept on working. And then Gwen was like, "Oh, hey, calm down, come back over here."
Right, yo, yeah. He definitely
and remember when the other sister looked out for him when he was running away from
Miguel.
That was
the same one.
Yeah, and she looked out.
Spider-Bite.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was just like, okay, like that was cool. Like, and it could have been for whatever reasons, right? You could have said, "Oh, she could have liked him." It could have been because they was black. It could have been, but that doesn't need to be there. The fact is, she just seen he was in trouble. She seen that he was clearly with some struggle. He clearly special, and she looked out. Like it could have been any situation, and she like so we can figure out what it was for. But regardless, that's still cool for the story. Like she could have been a completely different type, and it could have still worked because they told a good story. And they told proper things. They crafted it the right way. And that's the way that I think good movies, they're going in that direction. Like, that's the direction they're going in. Like, and I think that's what it needs to be.
You are wave god today.
Little sprinkles.
You wave gods. Y'all both wave gods today for that transition. Across the Spider-Verse versus Flash is the next topic, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not a competition.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse
it's not a competition.
Right. But it's not a competition.
No.
It's not a competition.
Ain't no buts. Look. Flash rhymes with one thing, okay?
Excellence? Stop.
No, I'm just playing.
I didn't even say that. Okay.
No, I'm just playing.
He had other syllables and everything. He said it rhymed with excellence.
Right.
Desert.
Look, dog. Oh, the only thing I gotta say about my bad. I keep on coming in. The only thing I gotta say about Flash is this: Black Adam, okay, was fire. Black Adam, they shafted it. They took it away. The Rock was coming, and The Rock put a spark of life in DC where there was nothing, and they took that joint down. I don't care how they felt about Dwayne Johnson. I don't care. But that man came and delivered. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
In Shazam 2, and it would have carried the further point of your discussion.
I'm fine with him not being in Shazam 2 because Black Adam and Shazam have two completely different tones. Completely different tones.
That's like having Joker and Batman in separate movies and have them never meet.
But no, because what he was setting up with Black Adam, which I was hyped for, Wavy was hyped for, I think everybody was hyped for, was him and Superman going at it. That's what motherfuckers was hyped about. Him and Superman. In the Shazam movies, and I ain't seen the second one, but in the Shazam movies, he's still like juvenile and he ain't really there. And it's cool. Like, that's cool. But what Black Adam, specifically, what he was trying to do was specifically set up Black Adam and Superman having a Titan clash. And he did a damn good job of setting that up. I was here for it by the end of that movie. I was ready for it. I was like, shit, man, let's make it happen.
Amanda Waller, she's like, yo, I got people who could take you down. He's like, bring them. Okay.
Yep. And he was right there. And Cavill had the swirl. He had the swirl. Bro, I was here for it.
Time out. Have you ever seen that animated film of Shazam where, like, it was... they clashed. It was like it was basically abbreviated version of Shazam's origin story, and then they fought Black Adam, and Superman was in it. So, which is like the tie back.
It's on HBO Max. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
So and they both tried to box Black Adam, and he was both of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was taking both of them.
Yeah.
Of course, the argument is like, was Superman really trying? And of course, Shazam was a boy, not a man, so that's no comp. Like, Black Adam was tearing his ass up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dog, you got two titans of Hollywood, Henry Cavill and The Rock, both playing Superman and Black. That's a big clash.
I get that.
I was here for that.
Shazam and Black Adam are meant to clash. For me, I'm on to that too.
I hear you. All I'm saying is that in this time there was a dead spot in DC, and The Rock came, and remember he had been trying to play Black Adam for years. He'd been trying to get this project going for years, and they do, and so they had nothing, and this gave some life to DC. Like, this gave some energy to it. Like, we was watching that movie, I was like, oh, Dr. Fate, Pierce Brosnan slayed that role, by the way. And I was just like, this is all right. And then the action scenes were fire. Like, they wasn't bad action scenes. Like, the shit was tough. I was like I'm enjoying the fuck out of this movie.
People left and right. Like, left and right.
It was tight. Like, at the end of that movie, I was like, I want to see more of him and more of the rest of the Justice. Like, I want to see them come and make and happen, right? But then they took that from us, and then they give us Flash, which, yes, Flash is a very major character, very important character in the universe. But Ezra Miller is, not a superstar like Henry Cavill or Dwayne Johnson, but also, he's a criminal. And also, right, also he's a criminal. Right. And also on top of it, like, his Flash wasn't like that fire to begin with in Justice League. So like, it was just like, what are we really doing? You're trying to rebuild with him. So then, naturally,
okay, go ahead. So I don't think it was a rebuild thing, but go ahead. It was like you know, that's like you know, all the other students finishing a test in school, and you wait one kid to finish, and it's like a 30-minute test. You want minute 27, right. And the teacher's just like, all right, I'm gonna just let you go ahead and finish before we wrap up this class. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, James Gunn was just like, you go ahead and finish. This is a project that was even before me, so you can go ahead and finish.
Right, before the DC, right. That because Blue Beetle,
my stuff out here. Yeah. Like, go hurry up and finish this joint, and I can get started. It's like, you know.
Exactly. I feel like it was like that tryout. Like, you want to see if you're gonna make it into my universe? All right, you go ahead and finish. We'll see if you make it into. Right. But like, and I don't think it is, and I hope it doesn't. No, I don't need to see it.
Hey, I'm not gonna see it, but I actually did like the Flash. Ezra Miller.
But he's not able to come.
Yeah, I was like, Ezra Mills actually is a good actor despite him being a psychopath or whatever his case is. Like, and the one thing about the Flash that
was Black Adam better? Enough said.
It's hard. I'm like, I like the Flash for different reasons, but then Black Adam was just pure like action all the way. But like, the Flash was always messed up from the beginning because of the way he runs.
Like, I swear to God.
Let's talk about it right now. The way he ran. The overall CGI, which director came out to say that the
CGI was mad heavy in that movie.
It wasn't allegedly. It was intentional for it to be as.
It was. That's bullshit. That was not intentional. When he came out and said that, I was like, bro, you better keep your mouth shut. Because if it was intentional, do not say it. Do not say it.
Potato salad was tastes a little funky for on purpose or something like that. Be like, what?
Exactly. You don't say that. You keep that to yourself. When you ask
people to make CGI like scenes in a week, it's intentional of the quality you get. So like,
my whole thing, dog, is when you do CGI that poorly and it breaks the immersion, and you combine it with an element that is super key to the Flash, the way that Flash runs, right? And you got that shit fucked up. What are we talking about, right? Like, and the thing is, like, it's not hard, right? Because they said a while back too, they said, oh, the reason why he runs like that is because of like he's running all crazy fast and he's not like in his control, and that's how it might be, like this out of control wild kind of running. No, okay, because
and that's what I'm thinking. Like, you treat us like we're dumb. Right. No one runs like that. That doesn't make sense, even science fiction wise.
And that's why and what everybody had been posting, which I firmly agree with, was in what was the Eternals. With what's her name? Who was the speedster there? And those scenes were way better. Like, she was fire.
Like, that should have been the Flash. Like, she just like, oh, I need to run somewhere. Okay, bing. Like that was it. Not this whole.
And her fight scenes were fire. Like, I'm just like, how are y'all being outdone like that? And it's not like you can't come back from this. Like, this is the Flash. Like, this is what the shit is supposed to be about. You know what I'm saying?
About his daughter Excess or like Impulse or nothing like that. You know. Yeah, it was
man. So Black.
So
it hasn't made a lot of money, which is what this all comes down to. Because if you don't make money, then we don't need to be making more of these fucking movies. And Black Adam made more money than that. And Black Adam has been the light in the dark. What the last good thing that DC made was Black Adam. That's the last good thing they made was Black Adam. And before that, I don't remember what it was before that, because unless we count the Batman, but that's not in the DC universe.
Wonder
Woman 1.
Aquaman.
I mean, the outside of Wonder Woman, the first one, and Shazam.
Shazam 1 was good.
I know. Right, Shazam 1. And a lot of people stand by Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was average, so like I can't put it. I thought it was average. I thought Man of Steel was average.
I thought that's the best Superman movie ever.
Jesus, that's
the best Superman movie. General Zod, Henry Cavill. Yes, I'll put that as the best Superman movie ever.
I do not think so. But
him. Oh my god, that was such a line. When I saw that in trailers, I was like, yes, this is the Superman movie I wanted. Now the fact that he had to kill General Zod, I was like,
flight scene. I think to me that music, like you said, that the music earlier that you brought up for Game of Thrones, like in the earlier conversation about that one scene you listened to, the flight music and the flight scene for Man of Steel was amazing to me.
General Zod was that dude. Like Man of Steel.
General Zod was fire.
So much so that they brought him back in.
Which in the Flash, and I was super hype about that. I was like, "Thank you," because he was such a good General Zod.
But the thing is, multiverse shit ain't the answer when you don't already have a regularly established verse.
There you go.
Like, it's just shit. Like it's just you can't start opening these doors until your regular shit is established. You know what I'm saying? What they need to do: rebuild the Justice League. Start with Green Lantern.
Wait.
Okay.
They did have the verse is that, Superman killed his Zod, and it led into BVS, and led into Justice League, and it led into Fake's Day, because I'm not saying Doomsday, Fake's Day, and then led into,
Fake's Day. Jesus Christ. I was not Doomsday.
and for the Flash, and because we know that the Flash was just the Flash paradox, where he goes back and saves his mom and changes all the things, and Zod is there, and Superman's Superwoman, Supergirl, or whichever one that was in Supergirl.
Well, no, his cousin was. They explained it in the movie, but I actually did like the Flash for the movie it was. Besides the CGI and besides Ezra Miller being like a bad person, like if you take those two things out, it was actually still a good story. It was still I like the way they did compared to the animated series or the comics. It was just.
You said you liked it. You liked it over
bad.
over those.
Not saying like despite those, like the story was actually good though.
Okay. It's like the cartoon movie was
like if it wasn't Ezra Miller, it was the guy from CW who did the Flash. It would have made a lot more money.
Grant Gustin.
Yeah, if Grant Gustin did it, I think it would have made a lot more money.
I don't know. I don't know, dog.
Look, but I think Ezra Miller was a good actor because I had a few tears at certain parts because I'm always a little sensitive about like mom scenes, but like I'd be liking that.
So that sounds like it's about mom scenes and not about Ezra Miller.
He himself is a good actor for what he was doing. His very like antisocial type of Flash guy, which is not the Flash in my mind because he's always like very social and very
both
like
of them. Barry, Wally, Bart, all of them are them dudes in the party. Like they the dudes in the party liven that joint up like every iteration.
Yeah, like he's the Flash.
Ezra Miller is that guy at the party who's in the corner looking at everybody else like, oh my god, this is so much social like stimulation. What do I do? Mm-hmm. Like that's who Ezra Miller's Barry Allen is. But like, if he wasn't doing the things he was in the world, he'd be. Oh, he identifies as they.
Ezra Miller is they them. Yeah.
Excuse me. If they didn't do the things they did in the world, people would probably would have made a lot more money. So I think it's more the actor than the actual film itself.
I don't think so. I think Ezra Miller had never.
I haven't seen the movie
because I don't need to have seen the movie to understand that DC was some shit. Like I don't need to have seen it because look at all the other movies that have been doing stuff. Right, Gal Gadot, she was killing Hollywood, and guess what? Wonder Woman 84 was still trash. Like,
well, no, they killed her with Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah. She was
that joint was still ass.
You haven't seen Shazam.
Well, she's in the whatchamacallit?
Justice League. Justice League was some shit. Even Snyderverse. The Snyder cut. Snyder cut was good. Like was real good. But really, like, let's be honest. If the Snyder cut was the first thing to come out, we would have still criticized it heavily. It just looked so much better next to the dog shit that came out in the first place.
Right.
Like that's really what it is.
What's the line?
Kara, who plays.
What's it say? Gotta break your rule, Barry. Break your rule. Gotta break it. Gotta break your rule. Gotta break your rule.
Right. I was here for that. I was here for that part.
No,
I was
but
like,
you're looking at my
because
people are listening to the podcast. You don't see my arms, but you see my arms. Like that line was cool.
I know,
but I'm twisting my arm right here. Like people in audio, people that might be watching the video we posted. It's like twisting my arm back here. Gotta break your rules, Barry. And like got my forearm, my neck. Not
But
like
all I
this.
know
Not
is
like, you know,
that
hands on the
Kara
ground. Like, hold on,
is a hottie.
track runner. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what I'm saying. If you see how Flash is depicted, he's depicted running with good form and like super technique. Like he's running like somebody who's fast would be running. so like the way that they got him run is garbage. And
I've seen other people. Now I've seen other people run funny. I've seen other people run funny, and that's just how they run. Not the way that Flash is running. But people,
You mean the people in high school who was trying to imitate the Naruto run?
them,
bro, are there any any superheroes you see throw punches that aren't like good looking punches?
no.
Sure, maybe, but the thing is, like, how many like martial arts classes there? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're superheroes. Make the motherfucker run good. Like,
But
he's
then,
a superhero.
but then it's talking about
like,
the
what are we
diversity
doing
and
here?
equality, right? Some people that run flail
He's a
their arms
superhero.
that literally run like that, right?
He's a superhero. Fuck that. He's a superhero. Fuck that.
No,
like,
we can't pretend everything's about equality when it's not.
bro, he's a superhero.
There's not a
like-
whole group of people who run like this who are like, oh my god, I feel seen.
Yeah, because they definitely would have spoke up by now.
Bro, the Flash is supposed to be. The Flash is supposed to look cool running. He's the Flash. like this isn't that. Like there's no ifs, ands, or like. Remember in Invincible when Omni-Man was teaching Invincible like how to fly. He was trying to. Invincible.
Invincible?
Yeah, Invincible.
You said it sounded like
an S
he
or a
said it
C
sounded
in
like
there.
invisible. That's what it sounded like.
Invisible? I was like,
No,
what?
Invincible. Like,
There
what are
you
we
go,
talking-
yeah. No, we're gonna play that back for you. You weren't saying it like that. You weren't saying
No, I probably just said it fast. I probably just said it fast. But
okay.
but remember when Omni-Man was teaching him how to fly, and he was right. Y'all are really trying. I think I was just saying it too fast. I'm gonna say it again. Invincible. When Omni-Man was
There
teaching
we go.
Invincible how to. I was saying it too fast, but when Omni-Man was teaching him how to fly, right? He was saying, "Oh, like you got to do this, relax your body, blah blah." Like in Superman or any of the flying characters, right? They don't show any of that. They're just flying with perfect form. Their backs are straight, like they're flying. You know what I'm saying? Like because we don't need to sit here and act like they don't know how to fly. They're superhero. Flash, we don't need to sit here and act like you don't know how to run. It's Flash. What if they had Aquaman out there swimming with poor form? That'd be stupid. Like he's Aquaman. Like it would be dumb. That's why when we see the Flash run, I'm like, bruh, like, don't you know how to run in real life? Maybe.
Push himself forward like this.
What? And
Like elbows out.
yeah, like it's childish, bro. Like
They
that shit
fun
is
of that in
annoying.
the movie, and it's hilarious. But side note, because I said this 2 times, but y'all didn't hear me. Kara is a baddie.
Well, yeah, that's
Oh,
The
yeah.
Flash, she
and
is
sad
a
and
baddie.
sad
I
news.
was like,
Sad
oh,
news
who
because
are
of
you?
this movie. We lost 2 potential movies. A Supergirl would have been a Supergirl movie, and Batman Beyond was also allegedly in the works.
I'm more sad about the Supergirl one now because she was bad. I was like, damn, I can watch a movie with you in it.
They see all they needed to do. James Gunn should have came up there and vetoed all this shit. He should have went up in there and said, "Look, y'all not finishing shit. Here's what we gonna do: Green Lantern, boom. Supergirl, boom. Then we'll bring Flashback, boom. Blue Beetle, boom. Then we can squeeze in Superman. Superman can come later because we've seen so many fucking Superman movies already. Like they don't need to put him
TV
first
shows right now,
again.
Lois
Like
and Superman and Lois on C-Dub. You know what I'm saying?
they could have put his ass in
got-
there as
they
the
got the
main
new
one. Like, they
anime
could have, like
Style, because now there's a debate about anime style.
oh yeah, the Adult Swim joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like or they could have took bro from Smallville years ago. They could have
don't
made
think
him
he
a
wants to
Superman.
be.
Like, I don't think he does neither.
I think he wants.
I wouldn't want to be neither. Shit. It's a whole lot. That's like next to playing James Bond for real. You just open yourself up to hella fucking criticism once you say you be Superman. The script better be good.
In the Crisis of Infinite Earths for the CW, and his Superman, he has no powers. He gave up his powers for a happy life or whatever, and that was how we were featured.
That's some Smallville
Yeah.
ass shit.
That was his
That's some
feature.
Smallville
And
action.
Brandon Routh got to play his kind of his Superman Returns turned into Kingdom Come Superman, which is interesting.
Smallville was dope though. Smallville was tight. I thought that shit was
It
tight.
opened
That
up
was
the
a
door
real
for
good
all
like
this.
series to me.
No, excuse me, Blade.
It did.
but,
It really.
that's a conversation time.
No, well, yes, obviously, but you know, we thought the superhero
Yeah.
was in general. Yes, Blade,
Yeah,
yes,
but-
helped so that there is a budget, and then Tobey Maguire delivered on Spider-Man and helped these
and you know-
motherfuckers.
and you know-
look.
and you know who saw-
they was planning on making 4.
You know
Shit.
who we saw multiple times in Spider-Verse? Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Like in flashbacks.
Oh
like
yeah, we saw Toby, we saw Garfield.
Clips,
yeah, we saw Toby, Garfield, we saw all that because look, Sony is doing phenomenal with Spider-Man. Sony's doing a great job with the Spider-Man.
Don't give it up. Don't give it back.
Don't give it up.
Holding on tight.
And I'm still excited. I'm excited for what's going to come from Tom Holland in the next one. I'm excited for it.
Now, time out. He said, "Isn't it cool that he won't come back unless there's like special? There's like a special. Basically, he's looking for something special to come back to the role, but it's right now it's like up in the air or something like that for Spider-Man 4.
That's fine.
Shit. Going to go black suit Spider-Man.
We got Garfield on deck.
That's what he said.
Okay, you bring.
I forgot what he said that he wanted.
Oh no, I'm just saying
what he said he wanted to come back.
I bet that's what he wants though. Black suit Spider-Man.
It might have been that.
Because I was unfortunately, Toby kind of killed that one, but
might have been that.
He didn't kill it in a good way. Because yes, he did. He did kill it in a good way.
No,
yes, he did.
Emo Toby will never be accepted as Black Suit Spider-Man.
Correct.
Okay, not emo Peter Parker, but when he was in the suit, he was a badass.
That was cool. Yeah.
He was killing it.
He was like, ain't playing no
right.
game.
He was nice. When he was in the suit, he was dogging. Like, remember when he woke up and he was outside with the suit and he was like, oh shit. Then he
that was the best. That was such a good movie.
Right.
Yeah.
This shit was tight, man. And then remember when he walked up to Harry and beat Harry's ass in his house? Come on now, that shit was fire.
So honestly, it's to revisit.
And he threw the bomb at him and he's like, no.
He said, threw it back. Oh my god!
Too. Now that we're getting further, because like Spider-Man 3 was getting dog walked for years, but now we're looking back at it on better moments.
Wrongfully, it was getting dogged. I think it was clearly the worst of the three,
but still top tier compared to what we've been getting over the years.
I won't even say that, to be honest. But I won't even say that. But I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. But what I'm gonna say is that they were so ambitious with 3, and rightfully so, because we got to look at it from a different lens. And this is something I only found out years later. Remember Spider-Man 1, right? They came out with Spider-Man 1. Shit was dope, right? Spider-Man 2, bring Doc Ock in. Shit was dope as fuck, right? And then
like movie history gold of like cinematics and choreography.
See, that's being 30
and they had.
He's like, my back.
And they had exactly. He carrying, and then in 3 they said, okay, we're going for the moon. We're bringing in Gwen. We're bringing back Harry. We're bringing in Sandman and Venom. Like they went in, bro. So they tried to do so much, and all they got right was the Sandman story. Like that's what they got right. The Sandman story and Black Suit Peter in the suit and his whole revenge thing against it. Like that was good. Everything else was the Harry shit was trash. The Venom shit was not good. But that piece of it was really good. But I think they bit off more than they could chew. And I think if they did get to do, because Sam Raimi had plans to do the 4th one, they announced the 4th movie. If they did the 4th one, I think they would have gotten back to doing good shit. Because Sam Raimi, he know what he's doing. Didn't he? He came back and did
Excuse me. Doctor.
He did Doctor Strange too. And
not Doctor Strange 2.
That's right, Multiverse of Madness.
But people felt some type of ways about that one. But
it was a very good
Marvel horror movie.
Shout out to Wanda. That shit was fire.
This is me being reasonable.
Man, never take away a woman.
That was me being reasonable.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Me sending an interdimensional monster was reasonable. Now I'm here in person.
Yo.
Oh my god.
That's what's happening right now. Now I'm here in person.
Bro. That she was terrorizing that universe. She was terrorizing everybody, bro. Remember when they were literally running from her and she's just going into Wanda, dream walking into Wanda, fuck. Oh my god. She walked up onto the Avengers or onto the Illuminati. She just walked up onto them and was just like,
what,
and kill everybody.
What mouth? What mouth?
They over here we could take care of your little witch.
Yep.
My little witch.
Is your wife still around for your kids? Yeah. Why? Good. Unraveled that man.
I know
somebody gets to watch the kids.
Right. And I'm just and even when he told them and they were like, oh, we can watch her. I'm like, bro, you don't understand. The fact that she's even here right now means that she's gone beyond your expectations. Maybe y'all should think about this. You know what I'm saying? I get that maybe y'all wanted some shit, but not this Wanda. Like this Wanda is big time. And then she went and killed.
Your Wanda was like had the happy life. She was cool, single life or whatever. Yeah, she chose
peace.
Like, her well.
This Wanda,
no. To her defense, that was the Wanda where her kids were.
Her kids are real.
Her kids are real.
Yeah, her kids are real. That's what it is. Her kids exist. This Wanda, they not real. She made them joints up.
That's sad.
Your
and
Wanda
brought them to life.
My Wanda just knows how to spell violence.
That's right. Pure.
Doesn't even know how to
violence.
say anything else.
Pure violence. And she,
y'all took my kids.
She dog walked. And she dog walked out the Strange too.
If you notice, when she was in her happy life, Vision was nowhere to be found.
He was there. He went to work and stuff.
He went to grocery shopping,
work.
right?
He was working
at the same time his wife was over here.
No, he had a job.
Look,
he had a job.
Look,
like
she wanted her kids. I think this Multiverse of Madness was about Wanda wanting her kids more than anything.
It was like how she was dealing with her grief. With
exactly.
All the stages, right? Or the final stage, rather. Yeah,
she wanted them kids, but she was angry and she was pissed and she was powerful and she was like, "Look, I got an outlet now. I'm gonna take it out on y'all because y'all not letting me get this girl, so that I can get what I want. So I'm about to kill everybody, like straight up." She walked up on all Doctor Strange and all of them, and damn near slaughtered all of them. You know what I'm saying? And
they had to pay her anything, and she looked down and was like, "Who's the weak one? Oh, you. Run."
Right. Oh, you in this other universe over here with the Illuminati? I'm a dream walk over there, kill all of them, and I'm a still hunt y'all. Like she snapped Professor X-Net, and she's
arguably one of the most powerful mutants.
And she's chasing them like they're literally running on foot from Wanda. Like they are running out of fear from her underground, like running for their lives.
You could just like snap them back to her, but power scaling is kind of weird in that movie, but it's okay.
Well, she had dreamwalked into like a weaker version of herself, so she couldn't really do all the same stuff. That's what the theory is.
Spaghetti Mr. Fantastic, so I'm figuring she could do anything.
It's funny, like you say that Wanda, the fact that she could, it's like a conduit. It's almost like when you're trying to attach yourself into Wi-Fi extender. The joint's still strong, not as strong as the real router,
right? The joint's still strong, right? Because I don't think that while she was dreamwalking, she could bend reality the same way her base one could. Like her base one, she could change all the shit, like everything around her. She could just make it whatever. But when she was dreamwalking, she was clearly nerfed, but she was still nice.
Yeah.
Well, she went from a S plus to a S, like
right. She went from X plus to S.
Because she had problems.
And the thing,
she didn't have problems with. Took out. I know you have a problem with this, and I'm sorry to talk about it. She took out Black Bolt very, very easily.
Oh, Black Bolt.
And that was unfair, and that's not the way she went.
Black Athar Boltagon, she killed him
taking away his mouth and
easily, which was bullshit.
Boom.
And that's what I'm saying. If she could like alter the human body like that, she could have easily got those guys to be like, oop, turn around, or something like that.
And then
that was bullshit. That's the one thing that was.
She had to fight. She had to fight Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, the Captain Marvel that will verse.
She fought Captain Marvel, killed the shit out of her.
The ones on the team, she's like low key struggled against.
She didn't even really struggle against them though. They just had like some more. She just caught them off. She caught Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt off guard, and the other one squared up, and they had like a fight. Like Mr. Fantastic, he was sitting there like, "What? Like who the fuck are you? Like you're not just about to do this." Next thing you know, he's dust, and then Black Bolt, like, which was again, this was bullshit. Okay, Black Bolt has spent years training himself not to make a single sound. Even when he sleeps and is unconscious, he doesn't make noise. Why the fuck would he panic and blow his brains out? It doesn't make like that does not make sense. He's the most disciplined person in the universe.
Me personally,
that's not happening.
Not that I always want to see him snap like that.
Blow out through his mouth.
Not that I always want to see you snap like that, but I always find it like it's not only valid but entertaining when you snap about that point, because that really didn't make sense. That really didn't make sense. Like,
he lost all his regal. He was like, I can't breathe.
Boom! Like
imagine that you trained yourself, right, with like a weapon, or imagine you trained yourself with a gun or something, right, and you was like, I'm never gonna make some whatever petty mistake, and over years and years and years and years and years, you can't even unconsciously do it. It's harder for you to fuck up and do it. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard for you to do it wrong. It's like impossible for you to do this shit wrong, right? but then you panic because
You saw
Well, your mouth-
the
because your mouth is closed.
well, the
like
gun
your mouth
jammed.
is always
Let's say,
closed.
Like, for example, like the gun suddenly jammed or something like an easily fixable-ish situation.
Maybe, but it's just like at the end of the day, like if you know that's happening, Black Bolt, don't say nothing. Like, and that's easy for you because you never say shit. Why would you then panic and start making noise when you don't even make noise when you sleep because of your training? He don't even make noise when he's asleep. When he's unconscious, he doesn't make noise when he's unconscious because of how much he has worked on shit. So why the fuck would he try to force shit out of his own closed shit? Like, knowing his abilities, like it did not make no fucking sense to me. That was the one thing.
He panicked and he screamed out of fear. It wasn't even like he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna open it up."
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm gonna open this up with my voice.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he was like, he panicked, like, and like screamed, like, yeah, like.
That's what I'm saying. This is the same dude who's fought monsters, who's the leader of his whole people, who's been to space and shit. Like, this man's seen all types of crazy shit. Oh, now all of a sudden some weird shit happens, you panic and then blowing your brains out. Like, that shit was stupid to me. Mr. Fantastic, that was much more believable because she went and that was like a power move. Mr. Fantastic, he dope, and she just shredded him. Okay, cool. But Black Bolt, like, no, Black Bolt could have destroyed that entire side of the planet with like a sneeze, and he doesn't sneeze, he doesn't cough. Like, he's that disciplined. The man don't cough or sneeze. Like what are we talking about? But then somehow he gonna blow his, like, that shit was dumb. That's all I'm gonna say. That shit was dumb. Everything else though was fire. Oh, side note, we was talking about Spider-Man. We was talking about No Way Home and shit. But remember they made that little ode to what happened in No Way Home. He was like, oh, that Miguel was like, oh, the kid from whatever, whatever, you know, him and but
that little geek from it. Yeah, I was like, I love it. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm here for it, man. They're doing the best job with that.
And mind you, we're talking about rights here in this moment, and like collaborations versus like what DC did with the Flash. And now they're like trying to. It's almost like watching two teams, like like two teams in like a canoe trying to make it down a river, and it's like you got to figure out how to work together with other people in the boat. And Marvel had to work with Sony, had to work with Universal, because Universal had the Hulk's rights, but now Marvel has the Hulk's rights, so now Universal is no longer in the conversation. Like, Universal doesn't matter anymore in that Hulk owned conversation. But Sony, like I said, is still holding on to it, still making Spider-Man content, and then it seems like Sony and Marvel right now are in a little. Sony and Disney, via Marvel, seem to be in a friendly, team working spirit, whereas DC internally is still struggling to even get a new leadership to row their canoe to victory. I'm just saying.
Well, DC, they have opportunity.
You keep talking sense about what to make a sensible sensible decisions.
The Batman.
And allegedly
they got the Batman. The Batman is right there.
That movie got pushed back like another year or something like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, like Blue Beetle looks promising.
I think Blue Beetle's gonna be awesome.
I think it's gonna be sick. That shit looks dope. But they got the Batman right there with Pattinson. Like, they could just elevate that man. Like, granted, he's very street level right now, but they could elevate him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could do that.
Joker too, because now they got Lady Gaga coming in as Harley Quinn. So I'm like, let's see what they do with this.
Oh yeah, with what's his name? With
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. I mean, I'm here for it, but I do think that they need a little Batman in that shit. Personally,
maybe a hint of some kind.
I do think so.
No, we'll see with that. But
I
mean, but Bruce,
because right now he's like an insane villain who's like entertaining to watch, and you like understand his struggle. But like, if Pattinson came in and beat up Joaquin Phoenix, you expect it. Like, you don't expect Joaquin Phoenix to be able to hold up a fight or do any type of crazy, like, I'm about to kill half the city type things now. Like, he don't look like that type of dude yet.
But also remember, in that Joker movie, right? Like Bruce Wayne was a kid. Like, he was super young. So like he's way older. And then also in Batman, like that Joker is in jail.
He caught him. Yeah.
Remember, he was in jail. Yeah. So his universe got their own little Joker. You know.
They can't.
Yeah. But I just feel like right now they just got so many different things, and like what Marvel and Sony, they got their partnership where they was like, okay, we're gonna borrow him for certain things, but y'all got the rights to do this. But in No Way Home, they like they like brought it together. Like they brought it together, and that was cool. And I think that they could keep doing that, especially when it comes to Venom, because remember, like the symbiote that made its way into the MCU. So like now we have a legitimate Sony to MCU, like actual tangible crossover that's going to last. Like the symbiote has made its way from the Sony universe into the MCU. So like it's tangibly crossed right now. That happened at the end of No Way Home, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the end of No Way Home when there was like the symbiote was
dropped
still
off
in
of
there.
Eddie
So
Brock
like
when he
the
visited.
symbiote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the symbiote only existed in Sony. So that there's now an existing current canon
symbiote.
Like both universes exist on the Marvel side right now. So they just need to keep playing with that. And then on the Sony side,
aren't they like talking or something like that? It was like some type of hint that they could see. Never mind, I don't remember that. I don't know, it's like something like the drop is in the yeah, like he could see the other universe, something like that. Like it was something weird.
Who? Venom?
Yeah, like the symbiote that dropped into MCU.
Yeah.
They like are interacting.
Yes,
like the Sony one and the Sony Venom and the symbiote drop of MCU are like interacting somehow. Something like that.
Yeah, that's where they change. That's where they change some shit because it's like very like cosmic and like multiversal. Like it's like different now. But like it's cool. I'm here for it. But on the Sony, like I just want them to keep both sides growing because both sides are making money and doing good things. Like if on the Sony side they do this thing where they. I mean, I ain't really here for them building up all these villains. Like, I don't need no fucking crazy movie. But if they had Morbius and they had, Vulture and all them, and then they had a Spider-Man. Yeah. Like, I'm very here for them having multiple Spider-Man movies happening simultaneously. Like, they could have Spider-Verse running. They could have Garfield coming back and doing some shit, maybe crossing over with Tobey, and then they could have the MCU one. Like, I'm here for that. They could really do that and it'd be okay. Like, I mean, they did it already. They got Spider-Verse happening already, and they just had No Way Home with 3 Spider-Man.
I would be interested to see that, like, Tobey's Spider-Man, Andrew Spider-Man, and Tom's like all come in animated, voiceover, voice actor. They make an appearance like in Across, and then, sorry, it's Into, Across, and then Beyond is the next one. Allegedly, well, we know that the title might be Beyond the Spider-Verse, the 3rd iteration.
That would be tight if like they go through some universes and then they swing into like a live action one and then we see somebody who's playing like Miles or something.
I think that's
they swing back into an animated one
because we saw Donald Glover's Prowler that was captured in Cross.
Right, but remember in that universe Peter's alive.
So same thing in Spider-Man 2, which is our next topic about games of the year. But Peter's alive in Spider-Man with Miles, and
right. But that's a different. That's a different universe.
But the whole thing about them having to kill off Ultimate Spider-Man so that Miles could be in it solely, and then Miguel was like, the idea that that Spider-Man died because you're not supposed to be there.
I see what you're saying.
If he wasn't supposed to be there, there'd have been a black hole that had appeared in Universe 42 and this one. So that was supposed to happen. That is a canon event. That Spider was supposed to get away.
Oh, you see all the memes?
That Spider was supposed to get away and bite that Miles. That Peter was supposed to die because whatever happened. So that Miles had to be there to replace that Spider-Man. And the Miles in the verse became Prowler. We don't know if he's a villain or an anti-hero yet. So
yeah, but and Miguel's reasoning was sound. Like he just didn't want anything worse to happen. But the reality is like something worse wouldn't have happened every time. Just something different would have happened every time. But like every situation would have been made worse if they saved Uncle Ben across all these timelines. Like I don't think every time something worse would happen.
Didn't he
something different?
From, what's his name?
Bad.
Miguel's very broken when we see him.
Somebody he acts
he's broken.
More like a cat or something. Like someone started saying he's not a spider. He's like something because he's like had claws and he's climbing and stuff. And people were like, bats have those things too. Like
that's like his like his story though. Like that's his like he didn't like he doesn't have like spider sense. Right. He's like his biology. People try, like he's But that's just his character.
He's very more spider than other people because he has fangs too.
Spiders have fangs. Like
he don't got a spider sense.
The argument to those people that are online. I think from all three of us, we had to say to you, yes, he was fine. That was accurate. Don't say like, oh, he wasn't Spider-Man because this, that, and the third. Yes, Miguel is like that in the comic books, and you can go read a comic
Right,
book.
like people just don't know.
There are plenty on sale and online.
Right, please.
He's
Right.
accurate. You're welcome.
But man, that
People are
man's
some
seen
shit.
happier days.
He has, but also like he was very stressed too. Like again, and the thing was like one of my homies said, he said, "Yo, like put yourself in Miguel's shoes right now." And then once I and like I was already doing it, but then I was like, let me really do it. Like let me actually like, because I'm Team Miles, I'm pro Miles, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, let me really sit and think about it. So I took like 10 minutes and thought about it. I was like, if the whole multiverse is on my shoulders and this kid I think is about to mess it up, I would probably react the same way. Like I probably would react the same way too. I'd probably try to stop him and be like, yo, like you're about to kill all of us and everything that I built. Like I'd probably react similarly. But
And it's like,
You know,
I've
that's the
already
thing.
killed one universe by accident by trying to replace myself to have a happier life.
right.
And then you're
right.
about to
And-
do that like 1,000 times over.
Yep.
Yes,
and
I'm
you're
coming
already
after you.
exactly.
Yes, I'm about to like beat you down into a space train and be like, "You're the problem." Like,
right.
you're the
I was so happy when he
Oh,
got
dog,
away.
it was
though.
so I was like, how is he
man.
possibly? And he's like, y'all are all here. And I was like, what do you mean by? Oh my god!
They all
Like,
look
what
great.
did he, like I was like, realize I'm thinking through this movie.
Yeah.
I'm not like he's about to trick everybody on this training and secretly go back. Like I have no idea how this is going to turn around. And the fact that he like thought that out and was like, y'all are all here, which means no one's there.
Yep.
Which means I'm going there while
Yep.
y'all are still here, and you can't. Oops, see, goodbye. Like you know what I'm saying, like what?
Yep.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm glad they made Miguel way bigger because if you look at the combos, he has a regular Spider-Man build. Like he's like a regular
That dude
slim,
like a
toned
that dude like a
who's,
whole
you know, super
T-bone.
strong.
Like,
Yeah.
that
But
boy-
like, no, they
Yeah.
put the muscle on a Miguel O'Hara on this one.
Yeah,
I'm like, no,
yeah.
I'd be afraid of that Spider-Man. Yes,
He's
he's the
swole, like
leader.
it was crazy.
Yeah,
man-
he's
that man
swole.
benches,
He's dope.
Like school buses
Right.
for breakfast. Like
Yeah. They really like, you know,
and
emphasized that he was, you know, like an
and he's got a
anti-hero
little bit of
there.
a like addict
Like-
thing going on, like especially with like the powers. You know what I'm saying? What's the things giving him his powers and his suit or whatever seems kind of addictive. He was about to bite the mess out of
He's a
Vulture or
fucking.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he's got some issues too.
Yeah, I hope they show more of that in the next one. Because I was like, what was he planning to
What
do?
was he
Like, does
gonna
this Venom like give like a paralyzing thing, or
Was he
like
gonna eat that?
I don't
Was he
know?
gonna eat that
Miguel's
man, or what was he
backstory
about to
very
do?
Was he gonna eat him?
That I don't know. And then I had never had any experiences of knowing like that level. I had never heard of anything of him having to suck anyone's blood or anything.
He has venom. He has venom that paralyzes. He's like a spider, bro. His anatomy and biology is more like a spider than any other Spider-Man, other than like when that one Peter, you know, had all the
Yeah, when he
arms from
finally
his
turned
fucked
into
up
a
shit.
spider.
Like,
Yeah.
outside of that, like he has most of a spider's like anatomy and biology change from it, but he didn't get like the spider sense and a couple other like small things. But like used to all the Spider-Man and Spider people, like many of them have different little things. Like again, Miles is really the most unique for real. Like his
Lightning, camo.
yeah, he's shooting lightning, he's going invisible, and he has spider sense and all the other shit. Like he's smart as fuck too, just like, you know. And so, you know, it's I mean, they just did a great job going across the board with it all. It's like the first one was damn near perfect. So the second, like most of the time I said this before, most of the time with the first movie, you're like, damn, how can they make the second one better? Right? Like, what are they going to do? The second movie in trilogies is usually like the better or just as good as the first one. And then the third one usually falls off. Like, that's just what happens in a lot of these trilogies. But like the first one was damn near perfect. The second one was like as perfect at worst. And at most, it was more perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's so like the third one, I have no expectation other than more perfection. Like it's like a perfect series. I don't know what to do.
Y'all have the formula. Like you just stay with it. Just stick with it.
I don't care how long they need them animators to stay in there. It could be 5 years for the next scene. I don't give a fuck. Do what you got to do.
Too bad from now next year.
Hey, they better be working right now. It's
So
Sunday night. They need to be working. I don't know what the fuck
they probably made this movie already and then kind of did a split. You know what I mean? Like it's like the rest of the movie's already done. Like,
I'm
they
here
basically
for it.
Cut it in half, release the first half, and they're like already still working on the second half, and then tying that up with a bow, and he's like, that'll be out next year. You know what I mean? Like that's about to be done. Like
Like when
That's
I tell
good.
you, I was ready for another 2 hours. I
Oh, you
was.
draw.
Like, I
I
was
need to
just
go to
sitting
the
there like.
bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom. I had to go to
Bro.
the bathroom, dog.
There were
Like,
two
if they would have
movies.
said like, "Yo, you got 5 minutes to go to the bathroom," I'd have been like, "Bet."
Wait,
Another 2 hours. Like,
I'll be back.
It was. It's only. Oh my god, that's so ugly. That's so ugly.
snap, that's
Oh my god. There have been two movies in the history in my life that I was legit angry that they finished. The first one was The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and I was pissed that movie came to an end. And the second was Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh my
when that
God,
movie ended,
dude.
I was like,
wait,
no.
is that it?
no,
Say
I
it
was
ain't
mad
so.
too.
Wait, is
I
that
was
all?
like,
Say
That's
it
how
ain't
it
so.
You know what I'm saying? Like in the movies, and the music started
That shit
queuing up,
was
kind of like
fucked up.
like when the music starts queuing up, kind of like when something's about to conclude, and it's like, nah.
Oh yeah, when you start hearing the music, because like when it was about to
getting
end,
louder
like,
and
look-
louder, and you're like, "No, don't."
right?
You're going
Because when it was
to.
about to end, there was so much that was still happening. Like when it was about to end, so I'm just like, this movie ain't about to be over, right? Because they all just started a whole new plot point over here. This movie ain't about to be over, and then the shit starts to like wind down, and you see, Gwen over here with like all her people looking for him, and then this whole thing happening with him, and then his alternate self and all that, and then you hear the music, you're just like, fuck,
It
it's about to be over.
me think of
Fuck.
the olden days, and I think they might still do this now. I don't know if none of us really watch cartoons like that anymore with our superheroes, but like, remember when like, you do?
Yes, we
I
do.
haven't watched anything like from the Disney XD and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Everybody watches cartoons. Oh,
Current
like you mean
superhero
with the
cartoons,
superhero
like,
cartoons?
like the new Hulk show and the. You watch that?
I do. That's why I have HBO
Well, there's
Max
that.
for.
There's that.
I was gonna say,
kid-
are you talking
the
about kids
kid-
ones, or are you talking
No,
about
not
like
the
HBO
I'm
Max?
talking about the ones that come out like Disney XD stuff like that. Like,
I've watched the little like kid superhero thing, but that's just like
The
every
last thing
now
I
and again.
saw
It's not-
was Star versus the Forces of Evil,
Yeah?
which I highly recommend. It's very awesome.
Okay.
Disney Plus. But yeah, Star versus the Forces of
but
Evil.
it
Pretty amazing.
gave me very much like the way this movie ended. Gave me very much like when we watched those episodes of like a season finale of the cartoon show when it was like part 1, part 2, part 3, and it would like end, and then you wouldn't see that episode until next week or whatever. Like it would end on like a cliffhanger. Like the episode would be good.
Oh, like a Dragon
Yeah,
Ball Z.
like Dragon
to be
Ball Z,
continued.
but like I'm thinking like olden day
Find out
Spider-Man
next time,
cartoons where
Mom.
something happened and resolved the issue, but then something happened after. And it's like,
Oh, yes, right.
In
Right.
between, like, you got to be kidding my like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Bruh, that's Demon Slayer every episode all the
it
time.
really
Demon Slayer, it's like motherfuckers be squared up, the sword at a throat, and then it'll just fade to black and show the credits. You're just like, bro, really?
Wait, let me get on my
Really?
old man soapbox real quick. That's what these kids don't have, patience. Back in the day, I was waiting for Goku to turn Super Saiyan for like at
you know
least
how
a
many times
month.
they loop back?
For like 2 months.
But
they
we
kept putting on
we
repeat.
didn't even know it was coming. We just thought they was
That's a matter
gonna
of fact. We didn't
fight.
know it was coming. I just wanted to see what would happen because like every time he was about to turn Super Saiyan, they would start all
They,
over again.
oh my god! You know how many times they
I'm like,
ran
no!
back the Saiyan and Frieza saga until they finished the second half of that joint?
Oh my god!
Until they were ready to
Oh
release
my
it, and that's not
God.
knowing full well we're done with the Dragon Ball Z.
We were waiting on the
series.
we were
just
waiting on
over
the
here finally
dubs.
getting a
Yeah,
dub.
dubs, Drew. We're waiting on the dubs. Desert.
Dubs are awesome, but like
That's all we had at the time.
I know that's all we
That's
could
all
get.
we
There's no
had.
Crunchyroll. There's no Funimation
Right.
Plus to stream.
That's all we had. All we had was that and Sailor Moon and Outlaw Star and all them joints. All we had was dubs.
Sailor Moon had to watch on reruns. Like, yo, reruns were just a part of being a patient anime fan. These kids nowadays don't.
That's
You ever
right.
watch
have
it
a
and just
patience.
realize and watch it back straight through, like as you're older, and go, "This was longer." But it's because it was like repeated over and over again that you felt like the season was longer. When the season's
Yeah.
like 5 episodes. It's like, so you mean you tell me I watched episode 1, 2, and 3 multiple times when it came out with 4 and 5? It's like it just seemed like longer. It just seemed longer.
Yeah.
And then
But
because
also
I was
we was
impatient, I had to
watching it.
rewatch them on my VHS.
Yeah,
I had to record.
You have to record it. Yep.
Like,
That's right.
oh
That's
my
right. Had
goodness.
to record it. I remember I had to tape over Sailor Moon episodes so I could watch that.
Yes,
So I
and
could
you
catch
had
that. I was
the
like,
little
fuck.
Hold and then it'll go
Hold on a
back
second,
here,
guys.
right?
I think the door's there for my AARP card. I'll be right back.
I know, right? I'm just like, oh.
Hey, I had a tape that had the what was it? It was like the '96 NBA Finals, Michael Jordan and the Bulls,
Oh, wow.
and then it had the Ivan Ooze Power Rangers movie after it.
What were you thinking?
Dog, the joint was so fire, and then so I had that tape, and then after that I had a ton of tapes with Sailor Moon on it, because I had my sister start like record it because after school, like Dragon Ball come on, but I'd be on my way home from school, so I had her record it. We started running out of tapes. So then I started just like recording over Sailor Moon shit. And she was heated, but I already watched it. So I was like, all right, I already watched it. So I started recording over Sailor Moon, and then she didn't really like it. Sorry, Ebony, but you know, whatever. Like I just started recording over that shit. But then it was just like the one thing I did not touch though was the Ivan Ooze Power Rangers movie and the 96 NBA Finals. I was like, I ain't exactly. Like you can't. I don't even know where I'd find that movie today.
I have
Power
a
Rangers
VHS
movie,
version of that at my house. I probably would, but it's like one of those things. Like, could I sell it? No, because I think the like opening it up so much and all that stuff. Like the case is like worn or whatever, so that wouldn't even be peak quality to sell to anyone. But like,
yeah, wow, that joint had a 5.2 out of 10 on IMDb. That movie, oh my god, that shit was fire though. Like, what are you talking
remembering it? That joint was corny.
Wow, that shit on Rotten Tomatoes has a 32%.
But as a kid, that didn't matter to us. As a kid, that didn't matter.
Yeah, but if, bro, that Ivan Ooze, Ivan Ooze Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie has a 32% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5 out of 10 on IMDb, and that shit is crazy to me because that shit was fire.
But you have to realize a lot of people nowadays are cheap. Like everybody like doesn't want to see a movie. They're like, I'm gonna watch a review to see if I actually like it myself. Oh wait, they say it's bad. I'm gonna think it's bad too. So I'm just like, a lot of people are cheap. Nobody sees things for their own opinions anymore. So I mean, like the Power Rangers movie was very fire for the time, and if I were to look back at it,
it's the memories tied to it. Yeah,
so I'm just like,
it's the memories that tie to make something better.
Nostalgia is the thing.
I remember I used to, man, when I would come home, I'd watch Bananas in Pajamas, and I watch Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, like that was just what would come on. And then after like school started getting out later or some shit, that's when I started needing it recorded, Dragon Ball recorded.
Yeah. And then WB, that's where I got to watch One Piece.
One Piece, we dropped that as a squad slap, yo. Like dreaming, don't give it up, Luffy. Dreaming, like it came up with. We had to come up with our own stuff here,
man. Like,
but not knocking. We finally got J-pop songs. Like they started allowing J-pop songs on our anime and all that kind of stuff. They stopped having to dub it. And are making new songs over the likes of Rock the Dragon. Remember the remember the original Naruto song is like rise, like it like dropped it before Naruto said the original John. Like,
man, it was a pop.
The joint was cool, but they just got so much better though after. Like the joints after got just way better. Like they were fire initially, but I feel like anime has ascended in so many ways, and in some ways it's gone. Yeah, like the quality of many things has gone up. The quality of some things have gone down. Like now there's an oversaturation of the market, but I think there's a lot of shit that is still fire. Like back then, even especially like 90s was a good time for anime. 90s was a great time for anime. We had Sailor Moon, we had Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, Outlaw Star Trigun, like all that, Gundam, all that shit. Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball, Lord Jesus, Berserk, oh my god, like fire. Just and then we get into 2000s and we start, Naruto's and all the other shit, like all the fire, like all this fire. And so like you got these main things that are really good, but now we're at a point where there's so much shit. Like there's like infinite shit. Like there's an anime for any mood and anything you might want. So
and grow up a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I hope when I start going see, if I pray I don't go see now, but if I ever go see now, I hope I'm just in my chair at like 90 years old. Yeah.
I hope not. If that's the case, I'm gonna push you out your chair.
What is Granddad saying?
Like, what is Granddad saying? I don't know, some old anime he used to watch as a kid. I don't know.
Don't listen to him. He that's gonna happen to you if you watch all this TV. If you watch too much TV.
No, you start playing it. No, you be type.
You'll be like, hey, Granddad, your favorite anime is on.
You're in the chair and somebody starts playing it.
He'll be in the chair tripping, right? Just tripping, going crazy, and then he'll see somebody playing it. Then he'll become like himself again.
You'll
be
sit
like,
there and it's like, your grandkids be like, yo, what's wrong with him? It's like, there's only one thing that I know that could fix him right now. And they'd be like, looking like, why? And they'd be like, dum 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 dum. And he starts, they're like, how is that possible? I don't know.
It's like, when y'all get here? Who turned on the anime?
When y'all get here? And then when the song is over, he just goes back, sits back down, and is like,
it's like, yo, I only got 1 minute before the song ends. I love you guys. I miss you every day. And
No, what was like that? There's somebody like that where they're right for a period of time, and then they like fade back into like their character, like they're back to being stoic. I don't remember. No,
anybody who's crazy.
It was like a character.
Shut up.
It was like that. Where, like, they had a small window to be able to interact. It's like, you have to do this before I get back to. It was rat. It was like, oh damn.
Yo, I pray Squad stays cognizant all the way to their deathbed. So, because that's a terrible thing to go through.
Wow.
I can only imagine.
I don't know.
Anime
Look,
is awesome. Anime is awesome.
While we're still here and get ready to wrap up, because we could talk everybody's ears off for a while. It's been a while since we dropped the episode for y'all. I just wanted to drop this in here, and like, we're halfway through the year, we're close towards the game of the year awards, and probably like also even just talking about what animes and games have even taken up our time. And I'll already answer for Cornered when he says he's done nothing but play Final Fantasy 16 since its release, and he remembers nothing else from the past 6 months prior to its release, apparently. So, nothing else mattered up to this point in June, end of June, July, where Final Fantasy 16 released. But a lot of games that have been making big waves in the community right now. Like, other people have their choices of games that they play. Like, I haven't gotten it back yet, but I think Wavy's been playing it, like Mega Man Battle Network Collection. But the top games right now, to me, in my observations, Diablo 4. Spider-Man 2, and it has not come out yet, but we're putting very big expectations on this game and what we've seen. Final Fantasy 16, and what was the other one that I said? Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom? What do you mean? What's the other one? It's the game. It's won. It's the game that won already.
How dare you? You over here struggle. What's that one unknown game that?
And I'm a Legend of Zelda fan, but it just
right. Really. The battle for second place is more exciting between Spider-Man and Final Fantasy 16, and I guess Diablo 4.
I know you're a retired Diablo player that you know.
Sure,
I'm a retired Pokemon player.
I ain't coming out of retirement
like
either.
Black and White, and I don't know if I'd ever get back on it. I played Go, but I mean Go never ends, so it doesn't really.
I played Sword.
Okay, you know what I'm saying, like, and you'll stop there.
I also have a black friend.
It's like, those games coming out still. It's like I remember when there was only 400 Pokemon. I only remember when there was like about 350 Pokemon or whatever the count was by Black and White, like 400, 500, whatever the hell.
I mean, as long as every generation of people has their favorites, like I'm sure.
I like Diablo 4 more than Diablo 3.
Look, Mewtwo's,
somebody says that.
Mewtwo's GOAT. Okay, well, Diablo 3 was weak,
I like
so,
Diablo
like,
4 more than Diablo 1. Like, whichever
shit.
one. I'm just trying to see what, like...
Over Diablo 2 would be controversial. That would be... Because Diablo 2 is GOAT. So,
like you said, each generation has their starter pack of whatever game or whatever Pokemon they have. Because like the 150 will always be as many Pokemon as I ever need.
151, 151. Excuse me.
That's including Mewtwo, right?
Mew is 151.
It's including Mew. It's including Mew.
Mew.
Okay, who am I even here with? What is happening right now? What is going on? Did the senile shit happen already? What is going on?
Watch the most recent Pokemon just so I can see Ash become a Pokemon master. So
we haven't talked about that. Finally, we finally
Ash.
able to retire.
Okay.
Add the Ash Ketchum character.
At 12.
Fuck Ash. He should have been evolved Pikachu. I don't give a fuck. Should have been evolved that ass into a Raichu.
Nobody wanted to buy no Raichu dolls. That's what that is. That's why he never evolved.
Motherfuckers would have got a Raichu doll if he evolved his ass into one and he was the main character. They would have.
I'm also a player where I caught a wild Raichu just for the Pokédex standing, and I never evolved my Pikachu.
That's so childish. That's childish as fuck. That's childish. So you just you didn't even use it.
I never. Now it's funny. I also
Bro,
never.
Raichu is better than Pikachu.
And Pikachu never made it to my final roster.
Who would? Who would main Pikachu
when it was Pokemon Yellow?
Lord Jesus! When I seen Ash's Pikachu beat Drake's best Dragonite in the show, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "This is bullshit."
For anybody listening,
this ain't happening, bro.
Comment if Pikachu ever made it to your final Elite Four roster? Like, if you're walking up the mountain, was Pikachu everywhere, anywhere in your 6?
No.
I'm not talking to you,
no.
Cornered.
No.
Yeah, my finals always had like at least my first starter Pokemon, which was either Charizard or Blastoise. I never wanted to be a grass person for some reason, but I always had the Charizard or Blastoise, and then whatever other Pokemon I caught. I always try to have one of everything, like a ghost.
The question
Pokemon,
is
grass,
this Pokemon is the Pokemon evolved? If not, is it legendary? If not, why the fuck you got it? Like, what are you like? What are you doing? Like, what base ass Pokemon are you? Because at the end of the day, like, the rules of the game are different from the rules of the show. In the show, yeah, you could power of love that shit. Heart of the Cards, Eye of the Tiger, you can make that shit happen in the show. Wow. But in the game, like, no, I can't just tell my fucking Eevee to tackle a Feraligatr and it'll just do it and win. No, he'll eat that shit.
What? Like, with the harder skin,
Eevee
like,
chops.
whenever they gave them secondary skills, like hard skin or hard, ugh.
Yeah.
And every time you hit me, you take 50 or 25% damage or whatever. Nah.
Yeah. Like you got, and then you got all the Eevee evolutions and shit, which are all good, but there's literally better. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, remember Yu-Gi-Oh evolved from being like the base game, and then it got all complicated. The same thing happened with Pokemon. Like, there was a point in time where having a Ninetales was good, but there are far better fire Pokemon. There are far better fire type Pokemon. Like in the show, Fire Spin was a dope move in the show. In the game, that shit is that shit is ass. Like, what are you doing?
If you don't got Fire Blast, what you doing? If I don't see that 5-prong Fire Blast come towards me, and you only got 5 of those to use, what you doing?
Right. Like what are you doing? You know? And technically,
you want to hit me with Ember?
Ember,
right?
Ember's the
flamethrower's hot.
Flamethrower's hot. Once they about to learn, they can learn fire, flamethrower. Yeah, Ember's the first one to go.
Flamethrower was that move.
Flamethrower was the move. Like, Flamethrower is old reliable. That's what Flamethrower is. If you fire user,
you
Flamethrower.
That because you want to also have your Fire Blast, but you want to use this a few more times at least to
exactly.
get people down.
Exactly. Like, look, I only got one more PP of Fire Blast.
Right?
I mean, I got 6 more Flamethrowers though, so we could. Yep. and then you're gonna use that last Fire Blast. It's gonna say, "Oh, it missed."
Oh my god!
Oh my god! The heartbreak. You're like, what?
Or better yet, they do that and they see like trainer use like restore or something like that. The gym leader used restore. It's like, y'all shouldn't even be able to have those. Whatever. Like, y'all cheat. Whatever.
I'm about to. I need to see your Fire Blast. I need to see your Hydro Pump.
Solar beam.
Solar beam.
Hydro Pump.
Now, if anybody's using, if any
Solar Beam is
using
Solar Beam
later on down the line, that better have been your last mode of defense after hitting them with everything else. Like, you know, it's really like, or Leech Seed early and then hit them with everything else. Depends on what's going on. So
it's just so funny.
Grass is fire.
Granted.
I think grass is fire, but basic that's why they added the double types and all that stuff, because just grass type was a liability, because it was weak against fire, ice, flying. Like, it was weak against like ground fire. Yeah, ground fire, ice, flying. Like, it was weak against a whole bunch of stuff. So when they added the double types, then it was like, okay, grass is cool with poison, grass is cool with ground, grass is cool with something else.
I mean, coming towards the end, like halfway through the year, we've caught up on a lot of different shows. Like we talked about offline, like Demon Slayer, Dr. Stone coming out, Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3, I think, is coming out later this year, I think.
Are you serious?
It's either this year
that's coming out this year?
Soon, October.
My God. Oh my God.
They dropped the trailer.
Excuse me.
He's Googling right now. Look at him. I don't think it's.
You know that. Look, my partner now, Fumi. Look. Come on now. Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, there is official trailer.
Season 3. October.
Wait, when's the release date though? I'm trying to look for the release date.
Oh, October 2023.
October. Wait, no. Wait, hold on. I don't see that.
Crunchyroll has also confirmed that they will be providing same-day simulcast for English-speaking fans too. The dub is coming out at the same time.
He's so hyped.
The dub? Praise the dub? No, I'm just kidding. Now the sub is better.
The dub has a very good dub.
It does.
It has a better sub.
Yeah, we'll watch the sub. But
it has a much better
now
sub.
that we posted this, like, Desert, if you could drop that link, If you can drop that link, we'll post that on our Instagram today.
I'm so hype. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
y'all seen season 2? This shit was fucking lit.
Yeah, I did.
Like we getting real.
God damn.
If you don't got a Raftalia in your life, I feel bad for you.
The fact that they got real.
Well, literally no one does.
We're getting continental with this character. Like the fact that they had to like he almost tapped into the extra shield to try to beat that one character. Yes, continental.
What you mean continental?
The fact that
like, what are you saying?
Priest they had to like sacrifice lives to bring those beams down from space, and they had to trap the team in the dome to like do damage, and they almost lost. That's season 2 of
Are you saying now Fumi is continental? Is that what you're saying?
The dude he was fighting was continental.
Are you saying he travels more?
City.
Right. I mean,
city.
I mean, I would say, look, I don't remember how the scaling works. I mean, does continental mean with one attack that you could blow up a continent, or does it mean that you would eventually destroy a continent?
It's like because Naruto.
Yeah, now for me, you do that.
But tail beasts blow up mountains or whatever. So like, in one shot or whatever.
Yeah. You know how I feel about the tail beasts because they always try to compare them to the
Dragon Ball Z is planetary. How about that? Okay.
Uzaru, right? No. They at worst.
Oh, now
planetary. These motherfuckers. No, King Vegeta was planetary.
But it's funny
decades ago, like a long time ago.
Long in years too, which is weird. Like, say, can Goku blow up a planet? Like, yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. King Vegeta blew up a planet easily a very long time ago, and Frieza.
Yeah.
Right, Frieza in base form was unimpressed and used the Saiyans for their ability to do shit like that. I'm just like, y'all know how strong this man is? Like, remember Frieza like very easily laughed and blew up a planet in base form, sitting in a chair? Like, and Mugs want to ask, oh, can such and such be Goku? Like, bro, I always say, can we start lower than that? Can we start with base Frieza? Put base Frieza against your favorite anime character. Let's start there. And then we can work on to fucking Ultra Instinct Goku. You know what I'm saying? People saying like, oh, such and such version Goku. Like, bro, put them against Fasha. Put them against Nappa. Like, let's do that first. Because
against first form Frieza?
That's what I'd say. But like, I have always been Team Dragon Ball over Superman. That's just me personally. I think though that Superman is written to be like unbeatable. I get that. I get it. Like, he is the One Punch Man of DC. Like, I get it. Superman can't be beat. I get it. But in my opinion, what would happen was this man, who is a galactic universal tyrant, I think Frieza would have destroyed Krypton. Like, that's what I think. I think Frieza would have blew Krypton up.
He would have did the one finger.
I think he would have went to Krypton and all the Kryptonians would have said, what the fuck? And they might have maybe stopped it. And then Frieza would have just went to his second form and did the same thing. And then he would have did it.
Yeah.
No, they were regular humans under Red Sun, so they would always
the same thing if they were under the Yellow Sun.
Again,
well, the whole planet of Krypton under a yellow sun would be like devastating to the whole universe.
Yeah, just like the Saiyans.
But the Saiyans couldn't breathe in space. Air quotes. Couldn't breathe in space.
Yeah, it's very air quotes.
Someone tried to make an argument that he was within the planet's atmosphere when he did that, and then got in the ship and flew away.
Bardock also
or like Vegeta, but like
it's very air quoted.
Asteroid when he was turning Super Saiyan or whatever. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Again, it doesn't matter. Again, it don't matter. We could just step it up. We go to Majin Buu. Like, Majin Buu would assassinate all of Krypton. Like, what is Superman going to do? What would Superman do to Majin Buu? Tell me. It's like what he would do where Majin Buu wouldn't just recover, laugh in his face, and beat his ass. Like, I just don't. There's nothing he would like grab him and just like. And he would absorb. He would just absorb him.
Allegedly.
What with heat? Don't you remember Vegeta did a nuclear suicide bomb, and then his motherfucker from the fumes came back and regenerated from the fumes. And that was base Majin Buu, the fat one, the weak one, who did that.
And it's like comparable to, almost like Amazo. Remember, they couldn't beat Amazo. The only reason they won because Amazo decided to leave. Yeah, so like,
I mean, I would say with Majin Buu, I would say that's the equivalent.
Yeah.
Right, and I was gonna say, and all that took a wish. So I was gonna say I took a wish from the dragon. So, end of the day, like I think Krypton is in trouble, but that's just my opinion. There are people, hey, Superman beats such and such. I get it, but I always say like the Dragon Ball is a different power level. Like that is a very different power level. Like Saitama, One Punch Man, no, like he's fighting people who are definitely good threats and all, and some people who are really nice. And when he had his fight against what's his name, who kicked him to the moon, and Saitama jumped from the moon back to Earth, that was a feat. I'll give him that.
He's like, okay, I get this.
Right. That was a feat. I was like, okay, for you to just jump, like to just squat and use your thigh and leg muscles to jump to get you back here, I was like, that's a feat. I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, like, let's not act like Goku can't. It's a transmission, and they all teleport.
We don't have
regularly.
time. We don't have time for this because we're getting ready to wrap up.
Quick.
But you know,
So,
instant transmission is not so much that as much as like.
no, it's not instant.
Yeah.
It's not instant. I'm just saying everybody got techniques. Everybody got techniques that'll do something to turn the tide, or that'll do something. Everybody got techniques. The reality is, at the end of the day, you could say Goku got something for that. You could say OPM got something for that. All I know is that, again, let's start with all these conversations and work our way up.
Yamcha.
Because we always start... because we always start with, versus Goku right now. No, let's start with him versus King Vegeta. Let's see how he'd fare with King Vegeta first. Do you think he would be King Vegeta, somebody who could probably blow his planet up by sneezing? Okay, now let's step it up. Who's next? Raditz, Nappa, the Ginyu Force would fold the Naruto verse. You know what I'm saying? Like what are we talking about right now? Like, Captain Ginyu would run through all of Naruto from the very beginning all the way through Shippuden and beyond. Like Captain Ginyu, Dolo, him and what's his name?
My
Raccoon. Yeah, the Raccoon. He would hit Sasuke with the meanest Raccoon boom, and it would be over, bro. It would just be over. Like, what would he do? He would just laugh at him. Like Jace and Birder. Birder's the fastest motherfucker in the universe.
They would throw 10 toes bombs and then just be like.
Right, like what are we talking about?
My hand tingling. That was a good one.
Right, and again, even if they get past that, then we got Frieza base form. Like, are they getting past Frieza base form? Like, but then people want to say, versus Goku now. Like, bro, like, stop. We got to start way before then. Like, they were stronger than 8 years ago.
But in
right.
that follow up to that conversation that you and Wavy had, because we're talking about anime categories, and I think that can be one of overall just breakdowns of like further discussion about the truth of, like, you know, Superman versus whomever, or Goku versus whomever, and like forgetting other characters that were bodying that character first, and you know, it's always a deeper conversation than just the surface level characters.
Yeah, we had a lot more anime conversations to have, but Squad never on. We should have been a lot farther in the series of like suggestions for different
We do,
genres.
because you know we got a hot season coming up.
Hey, look, we can still do it. I can still recommend Vinland Saga to everybody who ain't watched it.
Oh, you know what? I
Vinland
recommend
Saga's
Tsukimichi Moonlight Fantasy from HBO. Yeah, it's an interesting isekai. It's
I
interesting.
don't know. I was like,
yeah, I'd say.
Oh
no,
man,
isekai
you kind
for
of
you?
lost me a little bit.
because me and Wavy talked about sports.
If it ain't Shield Hero,
That's
right.
You don't bang with Sword Art or whatever.
Nah, I told you I haven't watched Sword Art. I haven't watched
Sword Art is fire.
That's what I've heard. I haven't indulged too much.
There's a lull when they enter like the whole being a elves type of thing, but once they get out of that, it's pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I haven't delved too deep into that, but I know that Rising of the Shield Hero
isekais
is
at some point.
the best
Some of the
isekai.
favorites. Like I know y'all touch on sports. We're gonna talk about isekais. Probably one of the
yeah.
episodes, not necessarily next, but the one of the other anime feature episodes we'll do with DesertSkies will be about that.
Mm-hmm.
But
We just talk about
just
slice of life. That's what
not
we
an
need to talk
argument,
about.
but, you know,
Them's the
even
real
thinking
gems.
About, like, the slice of
Them's
life
the real
animes
gems.
and like, anyway, that's a Rap Squad.
You're a lie in April. You're a lie in April. That's
April?
a very good slice of life. Yes, it'll make you.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Cry.
I was gonna say campfire cooking also. I don't know if y'all have watched.
I looked
Or
up a
March
list. I
comes
saw a
in like a
lot that
lion.
I had not heard of. So that's something that we definitely could do a feature of, like, you know, because there's some service level ones that people know about, like Sword Art being like a. Yeah, Fruits Basket
like
is a
Fruit
sort of slice
Basket,
of
I
life.
think that's a
Orion
slice
Host
of
Club
life.
is a
Kobayashi's
I've heard
Dragon
that.
Maid.
Yes, I've heard of that
Come
one.
on now.
Heard of that one. Like not talking about
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
what's the word? Gateway isekais. Gate isekais that lead you to others is another conversation. But that's a wrap, squad. Be sure to check us out all over our social media at Fukaname. Catch previous episodes of our podcast on whatever podcast streaming service you prefer. We are there, guaranteed. Be sure to check out our website for a lot of our written content as well. I've been your host, Frosty Phenix. Catch me across the web at Frosty Phenix, FROSTYPHENIX. I do TikToks, I do Instagrams, doing a little voiceover thing and all that kind of stuff, and some other work that's coming up too with my main gig. So just keep an eye on my stuff. Squad, close out with your socials.
Word. This is Sonny Burns, Hornet Fox, a.k.a. Let me make some new ones in here. A.k.a. Leroy Justice, a.k.a. Siniska. Also, again, I'm going to keep on shouting out that movie, The Woman King, bro. Like, if you ain't seen that movie, The Woman King, do yourself a service and watch that shit. Anyways, yeah, keep rocking with us. You can catch me on Instagram at Sonny Burns, SANIBURNS, and of course at Fukaname. Shout out to Hideo Kojima. Go see Across the Spider-Verse. And, yeah. That's it. We'll catch y'all. What you listening for?
Another Clive or Final Fantasy XVI closeout thing. Like go play.
No, I said some new ones. No,
I thought you were
call
gonna
me
say
Clive,
go play
bro.
Final
It's all
Fantasy
good.
16
Call me
like
Clive.
I thought you were gonna say that, but go ahead.
No, that's what I'm about to do. I don't know what you got to do. Oh, word.
But yeah, it's your man DesertSkies, aka the coldest geek in the desert, aka Nintendo's first black son, aka
What?
That's bold, sir.
What?
That's bold, sir.
Right, that is bold.
That's bold, sir.
What are you doing?
okay, aka Nintendo's favorite black son, aka
What?
Mr. Cool.
Hey, you are struggling. Hey, you are struggling. Hey, let's give him a chance to do that. Hey, hold on. Let's rewind.
Corner, take some lessons after this episode. Go school him on turn.
Easy. Hey, he should have just stayed with the coldest geek in the desert. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, when it rains, it pours. All right, it's desert sky. That's all you have to say. Something cool.
Yeah.
He said,
I like that though. When it rains, it pours.
Mr. Cool.
The
first black son.
Taco master.
Tickle Tucker.
TikTok.
The first
AKA
black
insert
son.
something clever there. There you go. That's all my
Paul
AKA.
Tassi, where he has that opening. He almost like Paul
yeah,
Tassi
check
has that opening.
me
Pretend
out.
this is a cool opening scene from that video. Yo.
Right.
Oh man, but yo, check me out. DESERTSKIES. We out here for the laugh. We appreciate you.
Whoa. Catch y'all next episode, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.